Library Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers Introduction. A perfectly presumptuous title. 33 years have passed since I sat near the Ganges River having the conversation described in this book. Since it was first published in 1976, I've shared many copies. Often it has been difficult to explain away a title that talks about my perfect questions, for in 1972 I was 22 years old and quite far from perfection. Yet my partner in conversation, RLA Prabhupada, suggested the title Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers, and he was quite humble about himself. How did all this perfection come about? My conservative Jewish family instilled in me an inner longing to understand God. Self-discovery and anti-war protests highlighted my college years, though in 1971 I did manage to graduate from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute with a degree in chemistry. In that milieu of introspection and protest I became fascinated by the Hare Krishna chant, which I first heard in the late 60s in Greenwich Village, and by the Bhagavad Gita, the primer on yoga. I learned that yoga means union with God. The concepts of yoga attracted me, yet did not contradict the tenets of my upbringing. Still, the presentation of yoga in America troubled me. Every week the New York Daily News ran a centerfold of the latest Indian guru proclaiming his enlightenment to the world. Who could I trust? It seemed I needed to go to the source, mystical, faraway India. After college, the Peace Corps looked like an attractive way for me to explore India, live in a village, learn the language, and genuinely check out the GT and the chanting. India was not as I had imagined. Abject poverty was, I discovered, for the most part an urban phenomenon. Though beggars swarmed through the cities, the countryside was lush with farms and peaceful villages of content people. A subtle, elusive transcendence permeated everything. After starting my assignment as a high school science teacher in Bihar, I began visiting temples, mosques, and churches. It was disenchanting. The congregations were not seeking realization. They were seeking money, good luck, and prestige. It was the religious version of the 70s TV show Let's Make a Deal. Had I traveled halfway around the world and endured Delhi belly only to find the same shallow values I had seen in materialistic America? I met various gurus, but remained unimpressed. My existential search began to go up in smoke. In February 1972, I visited Calcutta during a school break. There were the Hare Krishna devotees, mostly Westerners, chanting just as I'd seen them in Greenwich Village. They invited me to visit a retreat 100 miles north of Calcutta. Deciding it fit in well with my quest, I agreed. We took a train through the verdant Bengali countryside to Mypur, a beautiful spot near the Ganges River. Upon arriving, I discovered that Mypur was more of a planned retreat. For now, it was a recently purchased rice paddy with tents and a hut. However, the paddy was near a sacred birthplace of the famed medieval saint Chaitanya, and in the hut was the founder of the International Krishna movement himself, an elderly gentleman named RLA Prabhupada. His followers were busy running a soup kitchen for the many refugees from the recent Indo-Pakistani war. I plunked down in the men's tent and volunteered for the food relief effort. There were 60 or so Krishna followers, mostly American or European and under 25 years old. They were enthusiastic to say the least. Many were anxious to share their persuasion with the only English-speaking guest, me. However, I was invited to meet RLA Prabhupada, and I sensed that this was the reason I had come to India. Now for the perfect questions part that has caused me so much discomfort. The Bhagavad Gita, the primer on transcendence, includes this admonition for a seeker. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. GT 4.34. According to this instruction there are 3 qualifications for the novice. Visit the Guru, inquire without challenging, assist the Guru in some way. The GT suggests that the Guru can impart knowledge when these 3 conditions are met. My intention in visiting RLA Prabhupada was to explore rather than contend. After meeting and studying many self-proclaimed instructors, I was extremely skeptical, yet RLA Prabhupada's followers intrigued me. Once I got past their zealousness, I found a genuine blend of mysticism and renunciation along with convincing explications. I resolved to spend my time with RLA Prabhupada learning rather than challenging. Later on I could always decide to accept or reject what I had heard. In this way I met the first and second of the GT's 3 credentials. The famine relief program of the Krishna movement also occupied my day, so I was able to meet number 3 as well. From RLA Prabhupada's point of view, I was following the GT's edicts, hence perfect questions. Meanwhile, RLA Prabhupada answered my questions based on this prescription from the GT 4.2. This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. RLA Prabhupada answered my questions based on the ancient system of disciplic succession, repeating what he had heard from previous authorities and not making anything up. Thus I had perfect answers for my respectful questions, presented by a humble messenger of his predecessors. The first conversation I had with RLA Prabhupada was not recorded by his secretary. Therefore the book begins without our introductions and initial dialogue. All of the substantive matters begin with the second dialogue, the first chapter. May reading my conversations with RLA Prabhupada lead you to your own perfection. Bob Cohen Library. Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers. 1. Krishna, the All-Attractive M.Y. Per, India, February 27, 1972. Bob, what is the meaning of the name Krishna? RLA Prabhupada. Krishna means all-attractive. Bob, all-attractive. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. So unless God is all-attractive, how can he be God? A man is important when he is attractive, is it not? Bob, it is so. RLA Prabhupada. So, God must be attractive and attractive for all. Therefore, if God has any name, or if you want to give any name to God, only Krishna can be given. Bob, but why only the name Krishna? RLA Prabhupada. Because he's all attractive. Krishna means all attractive. God has no name, but by his qualities we give him names. If a man is very beautiful, we call him beautiful. If a man is very intelligent, we call him wise. So the name is given according to the quality. Because God is all attractive, the name Krishna can be applied only to him. Krishna means all attractive. It includes everything. Bob, but what about a name meaning all powerful? RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Unless you are all powerful, how can you be all attractive? Why Masundara? RLA Prabhupada's secretary. The name Krishna includes everything. RLA Prabhupada. Everything. He must be very beautiful, he must be very wise, he must be very powerful, he must be very famous. Bob, is Krishna attractive to rascals? RLA Prabhupada. Oh, yes. He was the greatest rascal also. Bob, how is that? RLA Prabhupada. Laughing because he was always teasing the goddess. Why Masundara? Teasing. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Sometimes when RDHR would go out, Krishna would attack her, and when she would fall down, Krishna, don't torture me in that way, they would fall down, and Krishna would take the opportunity and kiss her. He laughs. So, RDHR was very pleased, but superficially Krishna was the greatest rascal. So unless rascaldom is in Krishna, how could rascaldom exist in the world? Our formula of God is that he is the source of everything. Unless rascaldom is in Krishna, it could not be manifest here, because he is the source of everything. But his rascaldom is so nice that everyone worships his rascaldom. Bob, what about the rascals who are not so nice? RLA Prabhupada. No, rascaldom is not nice, but Krishna is absolute. He is God. Therefore his rascaldom is also good. Krishna is all good. God is good. Bob, yes. RLA Prabhupada. Therefore, when he becomes a rascal, that is also good. Rascaldom is not good, but when it is practiced by Krishna, that rascaldom is also good, because he is absolutely good. This one has to understand. Bob, are there some people who do not find Krishna attractive? RLA Prabhupada. No, all people will find him attractive. Who is not attracted? Just give an example. This man or this living entity is not attracted to Krishna. Just find such a person. Bob. Somebody who wishes to do things in life that he may feel are wrong, but who wishes to gain power or prestige or money may find God unattractive. He may not find God attractive, because God gives him guilt. RLA Prabhupada. No, not God. His attraction is to become powerful. A man wants to become powerful or rich, is it not? But nobody is richer than Krishna. Therefore Krishna is attractive to him. Bob, if a person who wants to become rich prays to Krishna, will he become rich? RLA Prabhupada. Oh, yes. Because Krishna is all-powerful. If you pray to Krishna to become rich, Krishna will make you rich. Bob, if somebody lives an evil life but prays to become rich, he may still become rich. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Praying to Krishna is not evil. Chuckling somehow or other he prays to Krishna, so you cannot say that he is evil. Bob. Yes. RLA Prabhupada. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, API Setsudur Siro Bhajat Ananyo Bhkstur Ava Samantavya. Have you read it, Bob? Yes. The Sanskrit I don't know, but the English I do. RLA Prabhupada. Bob. Even if the most evil man prays to me, he will be elevated. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. As soon as he begins to pray to Krishna, that is not evil. Therefore Krishna is all attractive. It is said in the Vedas that the Absolute Truth, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the reservoir of all pleasure, raso visa. Everyone is hankering after someone because he realizes some mellow in it. Bob. Excuse me. RLA Prabhupada. Some mellow. Suppose a man is drinking. Why is he drinking? He is getting some mellow out of that drinking. A man is hankering after money because by possessing money he gets a mellow out of it. Bob. What does mellow mean? RLA Prabhupada. To Masundara. How do they define mellow? Masundara. Taste, pleasure. Bob. Okay. RLA Prabhupada. Pleasing taste. So the Vedas say raso visa. The exact translation of mellow is rasa. Mlot. Masundara's wife enters with a tray of food. What is that? Mlot. Eggplant, fried. RLA Prabhupada. Oh, all attractive. All attractive. Laughter. Bob. What is a scientist? RLA Prabhupada. One who knows things as they are. Bob. He thinks he knows things as they are. RLA Prabhupada. What? Bob. He hopes he knows things as they are. RLA Prabhupada. No, he is supposed to know. We approach the scientist because he is supposed to know things correctly. A scientist means one who knows things as they are. Masundara. How is Krishna the greatest scientist? RLA Prabhupada. Because he knows everything. A scientist is one who knows a subject matter thoroughly. Krishna knows everything, so he is the greatest scientist. Bob. I am presently a science teacher. RLA Prabhupada. Yes, but unless you have perfect knowledge, how can you teach? That is our question. Bob. Without perfect knowledge, though, you can teach. RLA Prabhupada. That is cheating. That is not teaching. That is cheating. The scientists say, there was a chunk, and the creation took place. Perhaps. Maybe. What is this? Simply cheating. It is not teaching. It is cheating. Bob. Without perfect knowledge, can I not teach some things? For example, I may. RLA Prabhupada. You can teach up to the point you know. Bob. Yes, but I should not claim to teach more than I know. RLA Prabhupada. Yes, that is cheating. Masundara. In other words, he can't teach the truth with partial knowledge. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. That is not possible for any human being. A human being has imperfect senses. So how can he teach perfect knowledge? Suppose you see the sun as a disk. You have no means to approach the sun. If you say that we can see the sun by telescope and this and that, they are also made by you, and you are imperfect. So how can your machine be perfect? Therefore, your knowledge of the sun is imperfect. So don't teach about the sun unless you have perfect knowledge. That is cheating. Bob. But what about teaching that it is supposed that the sun is 93 million miles away? RLA Prabhupada. As soon as you say it is supposed, it is not scientific. Bob. But I think that almost all science, then, is not scientific. RLA Prabhupada. That is the point. Bob. All science is based on, suppositions of this or that. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. They are teaching imperfectly. Just like they are advertising so much about the moon. Do you think their knowledge is perfect? Bob. No. RLA Prabhupada. Then. Bob. What is the proper duty of the teacher in society? Let us say a science teacher. What should he be doing in the classroom? RLA Prabhupada. Classroom. You should simply teach about Krishna. Bob. He should not teach about. RLA Prabhupada. No. That will include everything. His aim should be to know Krishna. Bob. Can a scientist teach the science of combining acid and alkali, this kind of science, with Krishna as its object? RLA Prabhupada. How can it be? Bob. When one studies science, one finds general tendencies of nature, and these general tendencies of nature point to a controlling force. RLA Prabhupada. That I was explaining the other day. I asked a chemist whether, according to chemical formulas, hydrogen and oxygen linked together become water. Do they not? Bob. It's true. RLA Prabhupada. Now, there is a vast amount of water in the Atlantic Ocean and Pacific Ocean. What quantity of chemicals was required? Bob. How much? RLA Prabhupada. Yes. How many tons? Bob. Many. RLA Prabhupada. So who supplied it? Bob. This was supplied by God. RLA Prabhupada. Somebody must have supplied it. Bob. Yes. RLA Prabhupada. So that is science. You can teach like that. Bob. Should one bother teaching that if you combine acid and alkali they form a neutral? RLA Prabhupada. The same thing. There are so many effervescences. So, who is making them? Who is supplying the acid and alkali? Bob. They come from the same source as the water. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. You cannot manufacture water unless you have hydrogen and oxygen. So, there are vast oceans, not only this Atlantic and Pacific. There are millions of planets and there are millions of Atlantic and Pacific oceans. So who created this water with hydrogen and oxygen, and how was it supplied? That is our question. Somebody must have supplied it. Otherwise how has it come into existence? Bob. But should it also be taught how you make water from hydrogen and oxygen? The procedure of bringing them together, should this also be taught? RLA Prabhupada. That is secondary. That is not very difficult. Just like Lot made this per a kind of bread. So, there is flour, and there is ghee clarified butter, and she made a pur. But unless there is ghee and flour, where is the chance of making a pur? In the Bhagavad Gita Krishna makes this statement. Water, earth, air, fire, they are my energies. What is your body? This external body, that is your energy. Do you know that? Your body is made out of your energy. For example, I am eating. Bob. Yes. RLA Prabhupada. So I am creating some energy, and therefore my body is maintained. Bob. Oh, I see. RLA Prabhupada. So therefore your body is made out of your energy. Bob. But when you eat the food, there is energy from the sun in the food. RLA Prabhupada. So, I am giving an example. I am creating some energy by digesting the food, and that is maintaining my body. If your energy supply is not proper, then your body becomes weak or unhealthy. Your body is made out of your own energy. Similarly, this gigantic cosmic body, the universe, is made of Krishna's energy. How can you deny it? As your body is made out of your energy, so the universal body must be made by somebody's energy. That is Krishna. Bob. I'll have to think about it to follow that. RLA Prabhupada. What is to follow? It is a fact. He laughs. Your hair is growing daily. Why? Because you have some energy. Bob. The energy I obtain from my food. RLA Prabhupada. Somehow or other you have obtained that energy. And through that energy your hair is growing. So if your body is manufactured by your energy, similarly the whole gigantic manifestation is made of God's energy. It is a fact. It is not your energy. Bob. Yes. Oh, I see that. A devotee. Just like, aren't the planets in this universe the sun's energy, a product of the sun's energy? RLA Prabhupada. Yes, but who produced the sun? That is Krishna's energy. The sun is simply heat, and Krishna says, Bh mir ponalo vu. Anala, heat, that is my energy. The sun is the representation of the heating energy of Krishna. It is not your energy. You cannot say, the sun is made by me. But somebody must have made it, and Krishna says that he did. So, we believe Krishna. Therefore we are Krishnas. Bob. Krishnas. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. And therefore our knowledge is perfect. If I say that heat is the energy of Krishna, you cannot deny it, because it is not your energy. In your body there is some certain amount of heat. Similarly, the sun's heat is someone's energy. And who is that person? That is Krishna. Krishna says, yes, it is my energy. So my knowledge is perfect. Because I take the version of the greatest scientist, I am the greatest scientist. I may be a fool personally, but because I take knowledge from the greatest scientist, I am the greatest scientist. I have no difficulty. Bob. Excuse me. RLA Prabhupada. I have no difficulty in becoming the greatest scientist because I take knowledge from the greatest scientist. We accept what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. This earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and ego, they are my separated energies. Bob. They are separated energies. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Just like this milk. What is this milk? The separated energy of the cow. Why Ma Sundara and Bob, stunned, laugh in realization. Is it not? It is the manifestation of the separated energy of the cow. Why Ma Sundara? Is it like a byproduct? RLA Prabhupada. Yes, Bob. So, what is the significance of this energies being separated from Krishna? RLA Prabhupada. Separated means that this is made out of the body of the cow, but it is not the cow. That is separation. Bob. So, this earth and all is made out of Krishna, but it is not Krishna. RLA Prabhupada. It is not Krishna. Or, you can say it is Krishna and not Krishna simultaneously. That is our philosophy, one and different. You cannot say that the things of this world are different from Krishna, because without Krishna they have no existence. At the same time, you cannot say, then let me worship water. Why worship Krishna? The pantheists say that because everything is God, whatever we do is God worship. This is Veda philosophy, that because everything is made of God's energy, therefore everything is God. But our philosophy is that everything is God but also not God. Bob, is there anything on earth that is God? RLA Prabhupada. Yes. In one sense everything here is God because everything is made out of the energy of God. But that does not mean that by worshipping anything you are worshipping God. Bob. So what is on earth that is not illusion? RLA Prabhupada. My means energy. Bob. It means energy. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. And another meaning of is illusion. So foolish persons accept the energy as the energetic. That is my. Suppose the sunshine enters your room. Sunshine is the energy of the sun, but simply because the sunshine enters your room you cannot say that the sun has entered. If the sun itself enters your room, then your room and yourself, everything, will be finished, immediately. You will not have the leisure to understand that the sun has entered, is it not, Bob? It is so. RLA Prabhupada. Still, you cannot say that sunshine is not the sun. Without the sun, where is the sunshine? But at the same time, it is not the sun. It is the sun and not the sun, both. That is our philosophy. Asinthyobdbita, inconceivable difference and non-difference. In the material sense, you cannot conceive that a thing is simultaneously positive and negative. But that is the spiritual reality. And because everything is Krishna's energy, Krishna can manifest himself from any energy. Therefore, when we worship Krishna in a form made of something, of earth, stone, metal, or something like that, that is Krishna. You cannot say that it is not Krishna. When we worship this metal form of Krishna, the deity form in the temple, that is Krishna. That's a fact, because metal is an energy of Krishna's. Therefore, it is non-different from Krishna. And Krishna is so powerful that he can present himself fully in his energy. So this deity worship is not heathenism. It is actually worship of God, provided you know the process. Bob. If you know the process, then the deity becomes Krishna. RLA Prabhupada. Not becomes, it is Krishna. Bob. The deity is Krishna, but only if you know the process. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Just like this electric wire, it is electricity. One who knows the process can derive electricity out of it. Why Masundara? Otherwise it's just wire. RLA Prabhupada. Just wire. Bob. So if I build a statue of Krishna, it is not Krishna unless. RLA Prabhupada. It is Krishna. But you have to know the process of understanding that it is Krishna. It is Krishna. Bob. It is not just earth and mud. RLA Prabhupada. No. Earth has no separate existence without Krishna. Krishna says, earth is my energy. You cannot separate the energy from the energetic. It is not possible. You cannot separate heat from fire. Still, fire is different from the heat, and heat is different from the fire. You are feeling heat. That does not mean you are touching fire. Fire, in spite of emanating heat, keeps its identity. Similarly, although Krishna, by his different energies, is creating everything, he remains Krishna. The Veda philosophers think that if Krishna is everything, then Krishna's separate identity is lost. That is material thinking. For example, by my drinking this milk, little by little, when I finish there is no more milk. It has gone to my belly. Krishna is not like that. He is omnipotent. We are utilizing his energy continually. Still he is there, present. A crude example. A man begets many children, but the man is still there. It's not that because he has produced many children he is finished. Similarly, God, or Krishna, in spite of his unlimited number of children, is still there. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. This is Krishna consciousness. Krishna is never finished. Krishna is so powerful. Therefore he is all attractive. This is one side of the display of Krishna's energy. Similarly, he has unlimited energies. This study of Krishna's energy is only one side, or a portion only. So in this way, if you go on studying Krishna, that is Krishna consciousness, it is not a bogus thing, maybe perhaps not, absolutely, it is. Why Masundara? And the study itself is never finished. RLA Prabhupada. No, how can it be? Krishna has unlimited energy. Library Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers to Vedic Culture Varamadharma MY Per, India, February 28, 1972 Bob. I've asked devotees about how they feel towards sex in their relations, and I see the way they feel, but I can't see myself acting the same way. See, I'll be getting married at the end of this summer. RLA Prabhupada. HMM. Bob. I'll be getting married at the end of this summer, in September or August when I return to America. And the devotees say that the householders only have sex to conceive a child, and I cannot picture myself at all in such a position. What kind of sex life can a devotee lead, living in the material world? RLA Prabhupada. The Vedic principle is that one should avoid sex life altogether. The whole Vedic principle is to get liberation from material bondage. There are different attachments for material enjoyment, of which sex life is the topmost. The Bhagavatam says that in this material world man is attached to woman, and woman is attached to man. Pusastreemithan Bhvam Edam. Not only in human society, in animal society also. That attachment is the basic principle of material life. So, a woman is hankering for or seeking after the association of a man, and a man is hankering for or seeking the association of a woman. All the fiction novels, dramas, cinemas, and even ordinary advertisements that you see simply depict the attachment between man and woman. Even in the tailor's shop you will find in the window some woman and some man. So this attachment is already there. Bob. Attachment between man and woman. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. So if you want to get liberation from this material world, then that attachment should be reduced to nil. Otherwise, simply further attachment. You will have to take rebirth, either as a human being or as a demigod or as an animal, as a serpent, as a bird, as a beast. You will have to take birth. So, this basic principle of increasing attachment is not our business, although it is the general tendency. Jiha, Kaetra, Sutta home, land, children. But if one can reduce and stop it, that is first class. Therefore our Vedic system is to first of all train a boy as a brahmachar, no sex life. The Vedic principle is to reduce attachment, not to increase it. Therefore the whole system is called Varamadharma. The Indian system calls for Vara and Rama, for social orders and for spiritual orders. Brahmacharya celibate student life, Gihasta married life, Vinaprastha retired life, and Sannyasa renounced life. These are the spiritual orders. And the social orders consist of Brahmas intellectuals, Kshatriyas administrators, Vyas merchants and farmers, and Dras ordinary workers. So under this system, the regulative principles are so nice that even if one has the tendency to enjoy material life, he is so nicely molded that at last he achieves liberation and goes back home, back to Godhead. This is the process. So sex life is not required, but because we are attached to it, there are some regulative principles under which it is maintained. Chanting starts somewhere in the background, with exotic drum beats amid laughing and the loud blowing of horns. It is said in Armad Bhagavatam 5.5.8. Bob. What is that again? RLA Prabhupada. The attachment increases. The material attachment involves thinking I am this body, and because I have this body in this particular place, this is my country. And that is going on. I am American, I am Indian, I am German, I am this, I am that. This is my country. I shall sacrifice everything for my country and society. So in this way, the illusion increases. And under this illusion, when he dies he gets another body. It may be a superior body or an inferior body, according to his karma. So if he gets a superior body, then that is also an entanglement, even if he goes to the heavenly planets. But if he becomes a cat or dog, then his life is lost. Or a tree, there is every chance of it. So this science is not known in the world, how the soul is transmigrating from one body to another, and how he is being entrapped in different types of bodies. This science is unknown. In the Bhagavad Gita Arjuna lamented, how can I kill my brother or my grandfather on the other side? He was simply thinking on the basis of the bodily concept of life. But when he could not solve his problems, he surrendered to Krishna and accepted him as spiritual master. And when Krishna became his spiritual master, he chastised Arjuna in the beginning GT 2.11. You are talking like a learned man, but you are fool number one because you are talking about the bodily concept of life. So sex life increases the bodily concept of life. Therefore, the whole process is to reduce it to nil. Bob. To reduce it over the stages of your life. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Reduce it. A boy is trained as a student up to age 25, restricting sex life. Brahmakar. So, some of the boys remain Nihika Brahmakar celibate for life. Because they are given an education and they become fully conversant with spiritual knowledge, they don't want to marry. And even if they do marry, sex life is restricted. But the basic principle is that one cannot have sex life without being married. Therefore in human society there is marriage, not in animal society. But people are gradually descending from human society to animal society. They are forgetting marriage. That is also predicted in the scriptures. Deempadhai Brachrahichu. In the Kali Yuga, the present age of quarrel, eventually there will be no marriage. The boy and the girl will simply agree to live together, and their relationship will exist on sexual power. If the man or the woman is deficient in sex life, then there is divorce. So, for this philosophy there are many Western philosophers like Freud and others who have written so many books. But according to Vedic culture, we are interested in sex only for begetting children, that's all. Not to study the psychology of sex life. There is already natural psychology for that. Even if one does not read any philosophy, he is sexually inclined. Nobody is taught it in the schools and colleges. Everyone already knows how to do it. He laughs. That is the general tendency. But education should be given to stop it. That is real education. Bob. In America at present that's a radical concept. RLA Prabhupada. Well, in America there are so many things that require reformation, and this Krishna consciousness movement will bring that. I went to your country and saw that the boys and girls were living like friends, so I said to my students, you cannot live together as friends. You must get yourselves married. Bob. Many people see that even marriage is not sacred, so they find no desire to marry. They see that often people get married, and if things are not proper they get a divorce so very easily. Therefore many people feel that to get married is not meaningful. RLA Prabhupada. Their idea is that marriage is for legalized prostitution. They think like that, but that is not marriage. Even that Christian paper, what is that? Why Masundara? Watchtower. RLA Prabhupada. Watchtower. It has criticized that one priest has allowed a marriage between two men, homosexuality. So these things are all going on. People are taking to marriage purely for prostitution, that's all. So therefore people are thinking, what is the use of keeping a regular prostitute at such heavy expenditure? Better not to have this. Why Masundara? You use that example of the cow and the market. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. When milk is available in the marketplace, what is the use of keeping a cow? Everyone laughs. It is a very abominable condition in the Western countries. I have seen it. Here also, in India, gradually it is coming. Therefore we have started this Krishna consciousness movement to educate people in the essential principles of spiritual life. It is not a sectarian religious movement. It is a cultural movement for everyone's benefit. Library Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers 3 The Real Goal of Life MY Per, India, February 28, 1972 Continued. RLA Prabhupada. This movement is especially meant to enable a human being to reach the real goal of life. Bob. Is the real goal of life to know God? RLA Prabhupada. Yes. To go back home, back to Godhead. That is the real goal of life. The water that comes from the sea forms clouds, the clouds fall down as rain, and the actual goal is to flow down the river and again enter the sea. So, we have come from God, and now we are embarrassed by material life. Therefore, our aim should be to get out of this embarrassing situation and go back home, back to Godhead. This is the real goal of life. This is the version of Bhagavad Gita 8.15. Krishna says, if anyone comes to me, he does not come back again. Where? To this place, Dukh Lyam Avadam. This place is the abode of miseries. Everyone knows it, but they have been befooled by so-called leaders. Material life is miserable life. Krishna says, God says that this place is Dukh Lyam, it is a place of miseries. And it is also Avadam, temporary. You cannot make a compromise. Alright, let it be miserable. I shall remain here as an American or Indian. No, that also you cannot do. You cannot remain an American. You may think that, having been born in America, you are very happy. But you cannot remain an American for long. You will have to be kicked out of that place, and your next life you do not know. Therefore, it is Dukkh Liam of Adam, miserable and temporary. That is our philosophy. Bob. But when you have some knowledge of God, then life is not so miserable. Rla Prabhupada. No, some knowledge will not do. You must have perfect knowledge. Janma karma kami divyam eva yo vedi tatvada. Tatvada means perfectly. Perfect knowledge is being taught in the Bhagavad Gita. So, we are giving everyone in human society a chance to learn the Bhagavad Gita as it is and make his life perfect. That is the Krishna consciousness movement. What does your science say about the transmigration of the soul? Bob, I think that science cannot deny or affirm it. Science does not know it. Rla Prabhupada. Therefore I say that your science is imperfect. Bob, science may, though, say something. It is said in science that energy is never destroyed. It is changed. Rla Prabhupada. That's alright. But how is the energy working in the future that science does not know? How is the energy diverted? How, by different manipulations, is the energy working differently? For instance, electrical energy. By different handling it is operating the heater and it is operating the refrigerator. They are just the opposite, but the electrical energy is the same. Similarly, this energy, living energy, how is it being directed? Which way is it going? How is it fructifying in the next life? That they do not know. But in the Bhagavad Gita it is very simply stated, Vscjr Niyathvaya. You are covered by a shirt and coat. When this shirt and coat is unusable, you change it. Similarly, this body is just like a shirt and coat. When it is no longer workable, we have to change it. Bob, what is the we that has to change? What is constant? Rla Prabhupada. That is the soul. Bob, from one life to the next. Rla Prabhupada. That is the soul. I, what you is speaking. What I is speaking. Identity. DM or soul. Bob, my soul is different from your soul. Rla Prabhupada. Yes, you are an individual soul. I am an individual soul. Bob, you have removed yourself from karmic influences. If I were to remove myself from karmic influences, would our souls be the same or different? Rla Prabhupada. The soul is of the same quality in all. You are under a certain conception of life at the present moment, and these countrymen of yours gestures to the devotees present were under a certain conception of life, but by training they have taken to another conception of life. So the ultimate training is how to become Krishna conscious. That is the perfection. Bob, if two people are Krishna conscious, is their soul the same? Rla Prabhupada. The soul is always the same. Bob, in each person. In each person is it the same? Rla Prabhupada. Yes, Bob. Pointing to two devotees, if these two are Krishna conscious, are their souls the same? Rla Prabhupada. The soul is the same but always individual, even if one is not Krishna conscious. For instance, you are a human being, and I am a human being. Even if I am not a Christian, even if you are not a Hindu, still we are human beings. Similarly, the soul may not be Krishna conscious, or he may be Krishna conscious, it doesn't matter. But the soul is the soul. Bob, can you tell me more about this? Rla Prabhupada. Soul, as pure spirit, all souls are equal, even in an animal. Therefore it is said, Paitsamadarina. Those who are actually learned do not see the outward covering, either in a human being or in an animal. Bob, if I may ask another question on this. Rla Prabhupada. Yes, Bob, I have considered the soul somewhat as part of God. At times I think I feel God. I'm here, and you may say God is here. So if the soul is inside me, then should I be able to feel God inside me? Not all of God, I mean, but a Rla Prabhupada. Part of God. Bob, but I don't feel God in me. But God may be here, separate from me. But should I be able to feel God inside me, since my soul is part of God? Rla Prabhupada. Yes, God is inside also. God is everywhere. God is inside and outside also. This is to be known. Bob, how do you feel God inside you? Rla Prabhupada. Not in the beginning, but you have to know from the scriptures, by the Vedic information. For example, in the Bhagavad Gita 18.61 it is said, Varasarva bhtnhdde rajuna tihadi. God is there in everyone's heart. Param ukaintarastam. God is also within every atom. So this is the first information. And then, by the yogic process, you have to realize it. Bob, yogic process. Rla Prabhupada. Yes, Bob, is chanting Hare Krishna such a yogic process? Rla Prabhupada. Yes, it is also a yogic process. Bob, What kind of yogic process must I do to find out, to feel this information, to feel the soul inside? RLA Prabhupada. Yes, there are many different yogic processes, but for this age this process is very nice. Bob. Chanting. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Bob. Through this I can feel not only God outside but God inside. RLA Prabhupada. You'll understand everything of God, how God is inside, how God is outside, how God is working. Everything will be revealed. By this attitude of service, God will reveal himself. You cannot understand God by your endeavor, only if God reveals himself. For instance, when the sun is out of your sight at night, you cannot see it by your torchlight or any light. But in the morning you can see the sun automatically, without any torchlight. Similarly, you have to create a situation, you have to put yourself in a situation in which God will be revealed. It is not that by some method you can order God, come, I will see you. No, God is not your order carrier. Bob, you must please God for him to reveal himself. Is that correct? RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Why Masundara? How do we know when we are pleasing God? RLA Prabhupada. When we see him. Then you will understand, just as when you eat you do not require to ask anyone whether you are feeling strength or your hunger is satisfied. If you eat, you understand that you are feeling energy. You don't need to inquire from anyone. Similarly, if you actually serve God, then you will understand, God is dictating to me. God is there. I am seeing God. Why Masundara? Or God's representative. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Why Masundara? It comes easier. RLA Prabhupada. You have to go through God's representative. Yasya Prasdidi Bhagavat Prasda. If you please God's representative, then automatically God becomes pleased, and thus you can directly see him. Bob. How can we please God's representative? RLA Prabhupada. You have to carry out his orders, that's all. God's representative is the Guru. He asks you to do this, to do that. If you do that, that is pleasing. Yasi Prasti and Nagati Kudopai. If you displease the spiritual master, then you are nowhere. Therefore we worship the Guru. Skd Darat Vinasamasta Straruptas Tath Bh Vyada Ava Sadbi. The Guru should be accepted as God. That is the injunction of all Stra. Bob. The Guru should be accepted as a representative of God. RLA Prabhupada. Yes, the Guru is God's representative. The Guru is the external manifestation of Krishna. Bob. But different from the incarnations of Krishna that come. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Bob. In what way is the external manifestation of the Guru different from the external manifestation of, let us say, Krishna or Chaitanya when they come to earth? RLA Prabhupada. The Guru is the representative of Krishna. So there are symptoms of who is a Guru. The general symptoms are described in the Vedas. Tadvyanratha Saguram Evbhagatkat Samit Pi Ratraya Brahmani Ham. A Guru must come in a disciplic succession, and he must have heard thoroughly about the Vedas from his spiritual master. Generally a Guru's symptom is that he is a perfect devotee, that's all. And he serves Krishna by preaching his message. Bob. Lord Chaitanya, he was a different type of Guru than you are. RLA Prabhupada. No. Gurus cannot be of different types. All Gurus are of one type. Bob. But was he also an incarnation at the same time? RLA Prabhupada. Yes, he is Krishna himself, but he is representing the Guru. Bob. I see. RLA Prabhupada. Because Krishna was God, he demanded, Sarvadharman Paritya Mmeka Aravra. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. GT 18.66. But people misunderstood him. Therefore Krishna again came as a Guru and taught people how to surrender to Krishna. Why Masundara? Doesn't Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita, I am the spiritual master? RLA Prabhupada. Yes, he is the original spiritual master because he was accepted as spiritual master by Arjuna. So what is the difficulty? Arjuna told the Lord, Ayasti Hadayam TV Prapanam. I am your disciple, and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So unless Krishna is a spiritual master, how does Arjuna become his disciple? Krishna is the original Guru. Teen Brahma HD Yadi Kava. It is he only who first imparted Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahm, the first created being. Therefore he is the original Guru. Bob. Krishna. RLA Prabhupada. Yes, he is the original Guru. Then his disciple Brahm is a Guru. Then Brahm's disciple Anrada is a Guru. Then Anrada's disciple Vaisa is a Guru. In this way there is a Guru Parampar, a disciplic succession of Gurus. Ava Parampar Prtam. The transcendental knowledge is received through the disciplic succession. Bob. So a guru receives his knowledge through the disciplic succession, not directly from Krishna. Do you receive some knowledge directly from Krishna? Rla Prabhupada. Yes. Krishna's direct instruction is there. Bhagavad Gita. Bob. I see, but Rla Prabhupada. But you have to learn it through the disciplic succession. Otherwise you will misunderstand it. Bob. But presently you do not receive information directly from Krishna. It comes through the disciplic succession from the books. Rla Prabhupada. There is no difference. Suppose I say that this is a pencil. If you say to him, this is a pencil, and if he says to another man, this is a pencil, then what is the difference between his instruction and my instruction? Bob. Krishna's mercy allows you to know this now. Rla Prabhupada. You can take Krishna's mercy also, provided it is delivered as it is, just as we are teaching the Bhagavad Gita. In the Bhagavad Gita 18.66 Krishna says, Sarvadharman Paritya Eka Aravraya. Just give up all other forms of religion and simply surrender unto me. Now, we are saying that you should give up everything and surrender to Krishna. Therefore, there is no difference between Krishna's instruction and our instruction. There is no deviation. So if you receive knowledge in that perfect way, that is as good as receiving instruction directly from Krishna. But we don't change anything. Bob. When I pray reverently, faithfully, does Krishna hear me? Rla Prabhupada. Yes. Bob. From me to him. Rla Prabhupada. Yes, because he is within your heart, he is always hearing you, whether you are praying or not praying. When you are doing some nonsense, he is also hearing you. And when you pray, that is very good. Welcome. Bob. To Krishna's ear, is praying louder than nonsense? Rla Prabhupada. No, he is all perfect. He can hear everything. Even if you don't speak, even if you simply think, I shall do it, then he hears you. Sarvasya Siha HD Saneva. Krishna is seated in everyone's heart. Bob. But one should pray, is that so? Rla Prabhupada. That is one's only business, praying. Bob. Whose business? Rla Prabhupada. Every living entities. That is the only business. Eko Bhaanyo Vidadti Kman. That is the statement of the Vedas. Bob. What does that mean? Rla Prabhupada. He supplies everything to everyone. He is supplying food to everyone. So he is the Father. So why should you not pray, Father, give me this? Just as in the Christian Bible there is the prayer, Father, give us our daily bread. That is good. They are accepting the Supreme Father. But grown-up children should not ask from the Father. Rather, they should be prepared to serve the Father. That is bhakti, devotion. Bob. My questions you solve so nicely. Everyone laughs with affection. Rla Prabhupada. Thank you very much. Bob. So, should I ask you another question now? Rla Prabhupada. Oh, yes, yes. Library perfect questions, perfect answers for the three modes of nature. MY Per, India, February 28, 1972. Continued. Bob. I have read that in life there are three gunas: passion, ignorance, and goodness. I was wishing that you would explain this somewhat, especially what is meant by the mode of ignorance and the mode of goodness. Rla Prabhupada. In goodness you can understand things, knowledge. You can know that there is God, that this world was created by him, and so many things, actual things. The sun is this, the moon is this, perfect knowledge. If one has some knowledge, even though it may not be perfect, that is goodness. And in passion one identifies with his material body and tries to gratify his senses. That is passion. And ignorance is animal life. In ignorance, one does not know what is God, how to become happy, why we are in this world. For example, if you take an animal to the slaughterhouse, it will go willingly. This is ignorance. But a man will protest. If a goat is to be killed after 5 minutes but you give it a morsel of grass, it is happy because it is eating. That is ignorance. Bob. Being in these modes determines your karma. Is that correct? Rla Prabhupada. Yes. According to the association of the modes of nature, your activities are being contaminated. K Ragu Asago Siyasada Sadyoni Jan Masu. A man gets a higher birth or lower birth according to the association of the gunas or the modes of nature. GT 13.22 Bob. So, cheating and things like that, what mode is that? Rla Prabhupada. Cheating is mixed passion and ignorance. Suppose one man cheats another. That means he wants to obtain something. He is passionate. But if he commits murder, he does not know that he will have to suffer for it. So it is a mixture of passion and ignorance. Bob. And what about when somebody helps another person? RLA Prabhupada. That is goodness. Bob. Why is that goodness? You said that goodness is when you have knowledge. So helping someone represents knowledge of what? RLA Prabhupada. If he is ignorant and you are trying to enlighten him, that is goodness. Bob. So giving knowledge is goodness. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Bob. And what about just giving assistance? RLA Prabhupada. That is also goodness. Bob. If a beggar has nothing and you give him alms, RLA Prabhupada. That may still be goodness. But in your Bowery Street they give someone charity and immediately he purchases a bottle of wine and drinks and lies down flat. All laugh. So that is charity, but that is not goodness. That is ignorance. Bob. Charity can be ignorance. RLA Prabhupada. There are three kinds of charities in goodness, passion, and ignorance. Charity in goodness means giving charity where charity must be given. Just like this Krishna consciousness movement, if anyone gives charity to this movement, that is charity in goodness because it is spreading God consciousness, Krishna consciousness. That is charity in goodness. And if one gives charity for some return, that is charity in passion. And if somebody gives charity at an improper place and time, without respect, and to an unworthy person, just like the Bowery men, that is charity in ignorance. But Krishna says, Yat karo I yad and si yajuho I dad si yat. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that as an offering to me. GT 9.27 If Krishna takes your offering, that is the perfection of charity. Or anyone who is a representative of Krishna, if he takes it, that is perfection. Bob. And what kind of charity is it when you give food to somebody who is hungry? RLA Prabhupada. Well, that depends on the circumstances. For example, if a doctor has forbidden his patient to take any solid food, and if the patient is asking, give me some solids, and if you give him solid food in charity, then you are not doing good to him. That is ignorance. Bob. Are the devotees beyond accumulating karma? These devotees, do they feel karma? Do they work in these modes? Are they in the mode of goodness? RLA Prabhupada. They are above goodness. Uda Sattva. The devotees are not in this material world. They are in the spiritual world. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita 14.26. Mkayo Vyabhikraya Bhakti Yogina Sevat Sagu and Samatayat and Brahma Bhya Kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Devotees are neither in goodness, passion, nor ignorance. They are transcendental to all these qualities. Bob. A devotee who is very faithful reaches this stage. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. You can become a devotee as they have become. It is not difficult. Simply you have to engage yourself in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, that's all. Bob. What is the status of service minus devotion? RLA Prabhupada. That is not service, that is business. Everyone laughs. For example, here in MYPER we have employed a contractor. That is not service, that is business. Is it not? Sometimes they will advertise, our customers are our masters. Is it not? But in spite of the flowery language, our customers are our masters. This is business, because nobody is a qualified customer unless he pays. But service is not like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prays to Krishna. Yath tath vividadu lampa omat prn thastu saeva and para. You do whatever you like, but still you are my worshipable Lord. That is service. I don't ask any return from you. That is service. When you expect some return, that is business. Bob. I wish to gain more knowledge of God and be able to feel God's presence more. I feel life has little meaning without this. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. If you misuse this human form of life, then it is a great loss. Human life is a great chance given to the living entity to get out of the entanglement of material existence. Bob. I feel thankful that I've been able to ask these questions. RLA Prabhupada. Yes, you can learn more and more. Questions and answers are required. They are beneficial to all. Estagazvam says Armad Bh Gavatam 1.2. O sages, I have been justly questioned by you. Your questions are worthy because they relate to Lord Krishna and so are relevant to the world's welfare. Only questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self. So, questions about Krishna are very good. When you discuss and hear about Krishna, that is Loka Magalam, auspicious for everyone. Both the questions and the answers. Bob. I am attracted to devotional life, but I still have my connections at home. Marriages I'm engaged. RLA Prabhupada. No, no. There are so many marriages indicates why Masundara. He is married. Marriage is no barrier. I told you that there are 4 orders of spiritual life. Brahmakar, Jihasta, Vinaprastha, and Sannyasa. So after Brahmakar life, one can marry, although it is not obligatory. One may remain Nihika Brahmakar, unmarried for his whole life. But a Brahmakar may marry. And after marriage, there is Vinaprastha life. This means that one is a little aloof from family. The husband and wife live separately. At that time there is no sex life. Then when he is fully renounced, detached from family life, he takes sannyasa. Bob, does the sannyas forget his wife completely then? RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Forgetting is not very difficult if you try to forget. Out of sight, out of mind. All laugh. Just as I have my wife, children, grandchildren, everything. But out of sight, out of mind, that's all. Therefore, Vinaprastha, Sannyasa, everything is nicely arranged by the Vedic system. Library Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers 5 Becoming Pure MY Per, India, February 29, 1972 Bob. Thank you so much for allowing me to ask my questions. RLA Prabhupada. That is my mission. People should understand the science of God. Unless we cooperate with the Supreme Lord, our life is baffled. I have given the example many times that a screw which has fallen from a machine has no value, but when the same screw is again attached to the machine, it has value. Similarly, we are part and parcel of God. So without God, what is our value? No value. We should again come back to our position of attachment to God. Then we have value. Bob, I met a young fellow today who came here because he heard that hippies were in MY Per. RLA Prabhupada. He's Indian. Bob, yes. He lives nearby and speaks English fairly well. When he was young he worshipped KL, a popular demigoddess, every day very rigorously. But when the floods came and the people saw hardship, he lost faith and now he has no religion. He said he now finds his happiness in trying to develop love among people. I couldn't think of what to say to him to add God and religion to his life. He said that after he dies maybe I'll become part of God, maybe not, but he can't worry about it now. He said he's tried various religious experiences, but they didn't work. One reason I ask this is because when I go back to America, a lot of people I come across are like this. They see that religion, like his worship of KL or other kinds of religion they've experienced, doesn't work. And I don't know what to say to them to convince them it's worth trying. RLA Prabhupada. Do not try at the present moment. You first of all become convinced, and then try to convince others. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction is that you can improve the welfare of others when your own life is a success. Bh Radha Bh Mithala Manu Yajanma Y Rajanma Srathaka Kari Kara Para Upakra. First make your life perfect, then try to teach others. Bob, the devotees have told me that without consciousness of Krishna all the time, you cannot be happy. But at times I feel happy. RLA Prabhupada. At times. Not always. Bob, yes. RLA Prabhupada. But if you become Krishna conscious, you will feel happy always. Bob, they implied that you cannot feel happy without Krishna consciousness. RLA Prabhupada. That is a fact. For example, if you are an animal of the land and you are thrown into the water, you cannot be happy in the water in any condition. When you are again taken up on the land, then you will be happy. Similarly, since we are part and parcel of Krishna, we cannot be happy without acting as part and parcel of Krishna. The same example as before. The machine part, fallen out of the machine, has no value, but when it is again put into the machine it has value. We are part of Krishna. We must join Krishna. And you can join Krishna immediately by your consciousness, simply by thinking I am Krishna's, Krishna is mine. That's all. Bob, we are part of Krishna. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Everything is part and parcel of Krishna because everything is generated by the energy of Krishna and everything is the energy of Krishna. Bob, how I can come to feel closer to God? I come to the temple at times and then I leave and I'm not sure how much I take with me. RLA Prabhupada. You have to be purified. It does not take much time. Within 6 months you will realize your progress. But you have to follow the regulative principles just as these boys and girls are doing. Then it will be alright. Bob, yes, I see. RLA Prabhupada. They have no tendency for going to the cinema or a nightclub. No, they have stopped all anarthas, all unnecessary things. The whole human life is meant for purification. Tapo divya putra kina sattva udivyasam di brahma sakyati vyanantam. Lord Abhideva says here that we should perform austerities and penances so that we can purify our existence. Sattva means existence and come to the stage of endless transcendental happiness. So if you don't purify your existence, then you will have to change your body from this to that. Sometimes it may be higher, sometimes lower. For example, if you don't cure a disease, it can put you into trouble in so many ways. Similarly, if you don't purify your existence, you will have to transmigrate from one body to another, and there is no guarantee you will get a very comfortable American body. Therefore, it is essential for a human being to purify his existence. Unless you purify your existence, you will hanker after happiness but will not always be happy. Bob. When I go to my job in New York, I hope I'll become pure, but I'm sure that I won't become as pure as your devotees here. I don't see myself doing that. RLA Prabhupada. You can do as they are doing. They were not pure in the beginning. Now they are pure. Similarly, you can become pure. For example, in your childhood you were not educated, but now you are educated. If you are serious, you can keep yourself pure anywhere. It doesn't matter whether you stay in America or India. But you must know how to keep yourself pure. That's all. Bob. You mean by following the principles of Krishna consciousness? RLA Prabhupada. Yes. I went to America, for instance, but whether in America or India, I am the same man. Bob. I have somewhat tried to follow since I met you the first time last November. RLA Prabhupada. HMM. But you must strictly follow if you are serious. Bob. Okay, maybe. What I will say now is, well, the most foolish of all I've said. But let me tell you how I feel. RLA Prabhupada. No, not foolish. I don't say you are foolish, but imperfect. Bob. Okay. He laughs. Imperfect. But let me tell you. I feel that right now I admire and respect your devotees, but I don't feel as if I am part of them, or even that I have a great desire to be part of them. I feel that I want to do what is right, come closer to God, and if I can just go to a better life next time, I'd be satisfied. RLA Prabhupada. Very good, Bob. I guess it's material clinging, but RLA Prabhupada. So, you just follow in their footsteps and your desire will be fulfilled. We are training people how to become purified and happy. That is our mission. We want to see everyone happy. Sarvsukhino Bhavantu. People do not know how to become happy. They do not take the standard path to become happy. They manufacture their own way. That is the difficulty. Therefore, Abhideva gave this advice to his sons. My dear boys, just undergo austerity for transcendental realization. Everyone is performing austerity. One boy I know, he had to go to a foreign country to learn commercial management. Now he is well situated. In this way, everyone is undergoing some austerity for temporary material happiness. So why not undergo austerity for permanent happiness? You have to purify your existence and your body. As many times as you accept a material body, you will have to change it. But as soon as you get a spiritual body, there is no question of change. You already have a spiritual body. Now, due to our material contamination, we are developing the material body. But if we associate with spiritual life, then we shall develop a spiritual body. If you put an iron rod within fire, it will become like fire. Is it not, Bob? Yes. RLA Prabhupada. And when the iron rod is red hot, you can touch it anywhere, and it will burn. It takes on the quality of fire, although it is still iron. Similarly, if you always keep yourself in Krishna consciousness, your body will become spiritualized and act spiritually, although it is material. No more material demands. Bob, how do I do this? RLA Prabhupada. By the process we are teaching. You have seen these 6 boys who were initiated today. They are doing it. It is very simple. You have to follow the 4 restrictive regulations and chant Hare Krishna on these beads. Very easy. Bob. Well, but I follow some of the regulative principles, but not all. RLA Prabhupada. Some means. There are only 4 regulative principles. Some means 3, or 2. Bob. 2 or 3. RLA Prabhupada. So why not the other one? Bob. No. I mean I follow 1 or 2. 1 or 2 I follow now. RLA Prabhupada. Laughs. Why not the other 3? What is the difficulty? Which one do you follow? Bob. Well, I'm almost vegetarian, but I eat eggs. RLA Prabhupada. Then that is also not complete. Bob. No. Since I saw you last November, I've become vegetarian. RLA Prabhupada. Vegetarian is no qualification. The pigeon is vegetarian. The monkey is vegetarian. The most rubbish creature, most mischievous. Bob. I felt that it was a little bit of progress because it was somewhat difficult at first, then easy. RLA Prabhupada. No, you can stick to all the regulative principles, provided you take to the Krishna consciousness process. Otherwise it is not possible. Bob. Yes. When I'm back in Bihar with my friends and we're sitting in the evening and there's nothing to do but fight mosquitoes, they say, how about smoking some marijuana? And I say, sure, there's nothing else to do, and then I sit down and I enjoy myself for the evening. We were doing this every day. We got carried away until we realized we were hurting ourselves and stopped. But still on occasion we, RLA Prabhupada, you have to live with us. Then your friends will not ask you, what about marijuana? Bob laughs. Keep the association of devotees. We are opening centers to give people a chance to associate with us. Why have we bought so much land in Wiper? So that those who are seriously desirous of advancing in Krishna consciousness can come live with us. Association is very influential. If you associate with drunkards, you become a drunkard. If you associate with Estus, you become a Estu. Why Masundara? He can come and stay with you in Bombay. RLA Prabhupada. Yes, you can stay with us in Bombay. But he wants friends with marijuana. That is the difficulty. Bob, let me ask you about something else. Then maybe I'll come back to this. I find that I think of myself too much, and this way I can't think of God so much. I think of myself in too many places. How can I forget about myself so I can concentrate on other, more important things? RLA Prabhupada, as these devotees have done. Bob laughs. I think what you're saying to me is that my path to purity is to become a devotee. RLA Prabhupada, do you hesitate? Bob, well, RLA Prabhupada, is it very difficult to become a devotee? Bob, for me it is. I don't feel so much the desire. First, the devotees tell me that they have given up material life. These 4 regulative principles they have explained to me mean giving up material life, and that I see. And in place of this they have, RLA Prabhupada, what do you mean by material life? Bob is silent. I am sitting on this bed. Is it material or spiritual? Bob, material. RLA Prabhupada. Then how have we given up material life? Bob, I think how I interpreted it was a desire for material gain. RLA Prabhupada. What is material? Bob, working toward material gain and not giving up all material desires. RLA Prabhupada. When you desire to gratify your senses, that is material life. And when you desire to serve God, that is spiritual life. That is the difference between material life and spiritual life. Now we are trying to serve our senses. But instead of serving our senses, we should serve God. That is spiritual life. What is the difference between our activities and others? We are using everything they use. Table, chair, bed, tape recorder, typewriter. So what is the difference? The difference is that we are using everything for Krishna. Bob, the devotees have said that the sensual pleasures they have given up are replaced with spiritual kinds of pleasures, but I haven't felt this. RLA Prabhupada. Spiritual pleasures come when you desire to please Krishna. That is spiritual pleasure. For example, a mother is more pleased by feeding her son. She's not eating, but when she sees that her son is eating very nicely, then she becomes pleased. Bob, spiritual pleasure, then, is pleasing God. RLA Prabhupada. Spiritual pleasure means the pleasure of Krishna. Bob, pleasing Krishna. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Material pleasure means the pleasure of the senses. That's all. This is the difference. When you simply try to please Krishna, that is spiritual pleasure. Bob, my thought of pleasing God was to RLA Prabhupada. Don't manufacture your own ways of pleasing God. Suppose I want to please you. Then I shall ask you, how can I serve you? Not that I manufacture some service. That is not pleasing. Suppose I want a glass of water. If you concoct the idea, Swamiji will be more pleased if I give him a glass of hot milk, that will not please me. If you want to please me, then you should ask me, how can I please you? And if you do what I order, that will please me. Bob, and pleasing Krishna, then, is being a devotee of Krishna. RLA Prabhupada. A devotee is one who is always pleasing Krishna. He has no other business. That is a devotee. Bob, can you tell me some more about chanting Hare Krishna? I have for quite some time chanted, but never regularly, just a little bit here and there. I just got beads very recently, and once in a while I feel comfortable chanting, and once in a while not comfortable at all. Maybe I don't chant properly. I don't know. RLA Prabhupada. Yes, everything has a process. You have to adopt the process. Bob. The devotees tell me of the ecstasy they feel when chanting. RLA Prabhupada. Yes, the more you become purified, the more you will feel ecstasy. This chanting is the purifying process. Library Perfect Questions, Perfect Answer 6. The Perfect Devotee M.Y. Per, India, February 29, 1972. Evening Bob. RLA Prabhupada. Earlier today we were discussing the need to practice austerity in Krishna consciousness. Can you say something more about that? RLA Prabhupada. Yes, under the direction of the spiritual master one should practice austerities. You have no mind to follow austerities, but when you accept a spiritual master you have to carry out his order. That is austerity. Why Masundara? Even if you don't want to practice austerity, you must. RLA Prabhupada. Yes, you must. Because you have surrendered to your spiritual master, his order is final. So even if you don't like it, you have to do it. To please me. Why Masundara? RLA Prabhupada. But you don't like it. He laughs. Nobody likes to fast, but the spiritual master says, today, fasting, so what can be done? Why Masundara laughs. A disciple is one who has voluntarily agreed to be disciplined by the spiritual master. That is austerity. Why Masundara? Many people in the material world may be completely enamored by material life and they don't want to undergo any austerity or bodily pain, but still they must. They are forced by nature to suffer austerities. RLA Prabhupada. That is forced austerity. That is not good. Only voluntary austerity will help. Why Masundara? But if you don't undergo voluntary austerity, then you must be forced to undergo austerity. RLA Prabhupada. That is the difference between man and animal. An animal cannot accept austerity voluntarily, but a man can accept it. Suppose there are some nice sweetmeats in the confectioner's shop. A man wants to eat them, but he sees that he has no money so he restrains himself. But when a cow comes, immediately she pushes her mouth in. You may beat her with a stick, but she will tolerate it. Therefore an animal cannot undergo austerity. But our austerity is very nice. We chant Hare Krishna and dance, and then Krishna sends very nice food and we eat. That's all. Why are you not agreeable to such austerity? Chanting, dancing, and eating nicely. And because we are following austerities, Krishna sends us nice things. So we are not losers. When you become Krishnaist, you get more comforts than at the present moment. That's a fact. I have been living alone for the last 20 years, but I have no difficulties. Before taking sannyasa I was living in Delhi. And although I was living alone, I had no difficulties. Why Masundara? If you don't accept spiritual discipline, then nature will force so many calamities. RLA Prabhupada. Oh, yes. Krishna states that in the Bhagavad Gita 7.14. This divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. MY is imposing so many difficulties, but as soon as you surrender to Krishna, no more imposition. Why Masundara? We were so foolish that we were always thinking, in the future I'll be happy. RLA Prabhupada. Yes, that is MY, illusion. That is like the S. You sit down on the back of the S and hold a morsel of food in front of its face. The S is thinking, let me go forward a little, and I shall get the grass. Bob laughs. But it is always 1 foot distant. That is Sism. They all laugh. Everyone is thinking, let me go a little forward, and I'll get it. I'll be very happy. There is a long pause, filled with the sound of bicycle horns, children playing, and throngs of people calling to one another. Bob, I thank you so much. Tomorrow I'll have to leave you. RLA Prabhupada. Don't talk LEVE, but talk LIVE. Bob, I cannot yet. I must return to my town tomorrow. RLA Prabhupada. Don't return. Bob, I should stay here tomorrow. RLA Prabhupada. Stay here. Bob, if you tell me to, I'll stay. RLA Prabhupada. Yes, you are a very good boy. There is a long pause. It is now much quieter. It is very simple. When the living entities forget Krishna, they are in this material world. Krishna means his name, his form, his abode, his pastimes, everything. When we speak of a king, it means the king's government, his palace, his queen, his sons, his secretaries, his military strength, his activities, everything. Is it not, Bob? Yes. RLA Prabhupada. Similarly, since Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as soon as we think of Krishna, this means we are in touch with Krishna and all his energies. That is complete by saying RDH Krishna. RDH represents all the energies of Krishna, and Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So when we speak of Krishna, the living entities are also included because the living entities are one of the energies of Krishna, his superior energy. When this energy is not serving the energetic, that is material existence, the whole world is not serving Krishna, or they are serving Krishna indirectly, just as disobedient citizens serve the government indirectly. Prisoners come to the prison house on account of their disobedience of the laws of the state, but in the prison house they are forced to obey the laws of the state. Similarly, all the living entities here are godless, either by ignorance or by choice. They do not like to accept the supremacy of God, demoniac. So we are trying to bring them to their original condition. That is the Krishna consciousness movement. Bob, I'd like to ask you about something I talked with the devotees about, medicine. I walked to the river with some devotees today. I have a cold, so I said I shouldn't go in the water. Some felt I should because it is the Ganges, and some said I shouldn't because I have a cold, and we were talking, and I don't understand. Do we get sick because of our bad actions in the past? RLA Prabhupada. Yes, that's a fact. Any kind of distress we suffer is due to our impious activities in the past. Bob. But when someone is removed from karmic influence, does he still get sick? RLA Prabhupada. No. Or, even if he gets sick, that is very temporary. For instance, this fan is moving. If you disconnect the electric power, the fan will move for a few moments. That movement is not due to the electric current. It is due to, what is it called? Masundara. Momentum. RLA Prabhupada. Momentum. But as soon as the momentum is gone, no more movement. Similarly, even if a devotee who has surrendered to Krishna is suffering from material consequences, that is temporary. Therefore, a devotee does not take any material miseries as miseries. He takes them as Krishna's, God's, mercy. Bob. That attitude seems possible only for a perfected soul. RLA Prabhupada. A perfected soul is one who engages 24 hours a day in Krishna consciousness. That is perfection. That is a transcendental position. Perfection means to engage in one's original consciousness. That Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita 8.15. Anyone who comes to me does not return to this miserable, temporary material world. That is complete perfection. Siddhi. Siddhi is perfection. That is Brahman realization, spiritual realization. And Siddhi means devotion, which comes after Brahman realization. Bob, could you just say that last thing again please? RLA Prabhupada. Siddhi. Bob, yes. RLA Prabhupada. Sam means complete and Siddhi means perfection. In the Bhagavad Gita it is stated that one who goes back home, back to Godhead, has attained complete perfection. So perfection comes when one realizes that he is not this body. He is spirit soul. That is the Brahma Bhta stage, called Brahman realization. That is perfection. And Siddhi, complete perfection, comes after Brahman realization when one engages in devotional service. Therefore if one is already engaged in devotional service, it is to be understood that Brahman realization is there. Therefore it is called Siddhi. Bob, I ask you this very humbly, but do you feel diseases and sickness? RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Bob, is this a result of your past karma? RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Bob, so one in this material world never escapes his karma completely. RLA Prabhupada. Yes, he escapes. No more karma for a devotee. No more karmic reaction. Bob, but you must be the best devotee. RLA Prabhupada. No, I don't consider myself the best devotee. I am the lowest. Bob, no. RLA Prabhupada. You are the best devotee. Bob, laughs. Oh, no. What you say always seems right, so you must be the best devotee. RLA Prabhupada. The thing is that even the best devotee comes to the second-class platform when he preaches. Bob, what would the best devotee be doing? RLA Prabhupada. The best devotee does not preach. Bob, what does he do? RLA Prabhupada. He sees that there is no need of preaching. For him, everyone is a devotee. Bob laughs heartily. Yes, he sees no more non-devotees, all devotees. He is called an Uttama Adhikar. But while I am preaching, how can I say I am the best devotee? Just like RDHR, she does not see anyone as a non-devotee. Therefore we try to approach RDHR. Bob, who is this? RLA Prabhupada. RDHR, Krishna's consort. Bob, RLA Prabhupada. If anyone approaches RDHR, she recommends to Krishna, here is the best devotee. He is better than me and Krishna cannot refuse him. That is the best devotee. But it is not to be imitated. I have become the best devotee. Vertadadni ubili udviyatsuka. A second-class devotee has the vision that some are envious of God, but this is not the vision of the best devotee. The best devotee sees, nobody is envious of God. Everyone is better than me. Just like Chaitanya Charitamrita's author, Krishnad Sakavirya. He says, I am lower than the worm in the stool. Bob, who is saying this? RLA Prabhupada. Krishnad Sakavirya, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Per Erika Hate Muai Southeast Lagiha. He is not making a show. He is feeling like that. I am the lowest. Everyone is best, but I am the lowest. Everyone else is engaged in Krishna's service, but I am not engaged. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, oh, I have not a pinch of devotion to Krishna. I cry to make a show. If I had been a devotee of Krishna, I would have died long ago. But I am living. That is the proof that I do not love Krishna. That is the vision of the best devotee. He is so much absorbed in Krishna's love that he says, everyone else is a devotee, but I am the lowest. Therefore I cannot see God. That is the best devotee. Bob. So a devotee must work for everybody's liberation. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. A devotee must work under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master, not imitate the best devotee. Why Masundara? Once you said that sometimes you feel sickness or pain due to the sinful activities of your devotees. Can disease sometimes be due to that? RLA Prabhupada. You see, Krishna says, Ahati Sarvapi Pebyo Makai Ymuka. I will deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. Krishna is so powerful that he can take up all the sins of others and immediately make them right. But when a living entity acts on behalf of Krishna, he also takes the responsibility for the sinful activities of his devotees. Therefore to become a guru is not an easy task. You see, he has to take all the poisons and absorb them. So sometimes, because he is not Krishna, there is some trouble. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has forbidden, don't make many disciples. But for preaching work, to expand the preaching, we have to accept many disciples, even if we suffer. That's a fact. The spiritual master has to take the responsibility for all the sinful activities of his disciples. Therefore to make many disciples is a risky job unless one is able to assimilate all the sins. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Just like desire trees, they can fulfill the desires of everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. The spiritual master takes responsibility for all the fallen souls. That idea is also in the Bible. Jesus Christ took all the sinful reactions of the people and sacrificed his life. That is the responsibility of a spiritual master. Because Krishna is Krishna, he is apavita, he cannot be attacked by sinful reactions. But a living entity is sometimes subjected to their influence because he is so small. Big fire, small fire. If you put some big thing in a small fire, the fire itself may be extinguished. But in a big fire, whatever you put in is burned up. The big fire can consume anything. Bob. Christ's suffering was of that nature. RLA Prabhupada. He took the sinful reactions of all the people. Therefore he suffered. Bob. I see. RLA Prabhupada. In the Bible it is said that he took all the sinful reactions of the people and sacrificed his life. But these Christian people have made it a law for Christ to suffer while they do all nonsense. Such great fools they are. They have let Jesus Christ make a contract for taking all their sinful reactions so they can go on with all nonsense. That is their religion. Christ was so magnanimous that he took all their sins and suffered, but that does not induce them to stop all these sins. They have not come to that sense. They have taken it very easily. Let Lord Jesus Christ suffer, and we'll do all nonsense. Is it not? Bob. It is so. RLA Prabhupada. They should have been ashamed. Lord Jesus Christ suffered for us, but we are continuing the sinful activities. He told everyone, thou shalt not kill, but they are indulging in killing, thinking, Lord Jesus Christ will excuse us and take all the sinful reactions. This is going on. We should be very cautious. For my sinful actions my spiritual master will suffer, so I'll not commit even a pinch of sinful activities. That is the duty of the disciple. After initiation, all sinful reaction is finished. Now if he again commits sinful activities, his spiritual master has to suffer. A disciple should be sympathetic and consider that for his sinful activities his spiritual master will suffer. If the spiritual master is attacked by some disease, it is due to the sinful activities of others. Therefore the injunction is don't make many disciples. But we do it because we are preaching. Never mind, let us suffer. Still we shall accept these disciples. So your question was whether when I suffer it is due to my past misdeeds. Was it not? That is my misdeed, that I accepted some disciples who are nonsense. That is my misdeed. Bob. This happens on occasion. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. This is sure to happen because we are accepting so many disciples. It is the duty of the disciples to be cautious. My spiritual master has saved me. I should not put him again into suffering. Of course, when the spiritual master is suffering, Krishna saves him. Krishna thinks, oh, he has taken so much responsibility for delivering fallen persons. So Krishna says, Kanta prati enhinami bhakta prayati. O son of Kunt, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. The spiritual master is protected because he takes the risk on account of Krishna. Bob, your suffering is not the same kind of pain we feel. RLA Prabhupada. No, it is not due to karma. The pain is there sometimes, so that the disciples may know, due to our sinful activities, our spiritual master is suffering. Bob, you look very well now. RLA Prabhupada. I am always well in the sense that even if there is suffering I know Krishna will protect me. But this suffering is not due to my sinful activities. Bob, in the town I live in, I take boiled water because some of the water has disease in it. Now, why should I drink boiled water if I have been good enough not to get a disease? Then I may drink any water. And if I have been not acting properly, then I shall get disease anyway. RLA Prabhupada. So long as you are in the material world, you cannot neglect physical laws. Suppose you go to a jungle and there is a tiger. It is known that it will attack you. So why should you voluntarily go and be attacked? It is not that a devotee should take unnecessary physical risks. He shouldn't think, now that I have become a devotee, I challenge everything. That is foolishness. The devotee is advised to accept the necessities of life without attachment. He'll take boiled water, but if boiled water is not available, does it mean he will not drink water? If it is not available, he will drink ordinary water. We take Krishna Prastham, but while touring we sometimes have to take some food in a hotel. Because one is a devotee, should he think, I will not take any food from the hotel, I shall starve. If I starve, then I will be weak and will not be able to preach. Bob. Does a devotee lose some of his individuality? RLA Prabhupada. No, he has full individuality for pleasing Krishna. Krishna says, you surrender unto me. So he voluntarily surrenders. It is not that he has lost his individuality. He keeps his individuality. Just like Arjuna. In the beginning he was declining to fight on account of his individuality. But when he accepted Krishna as his spiritual master, he became a disciple. Then whatever Krishna ordered, he said yes. That doesn't mean he lost his individuality. He voluntarily accepted. Whatever Krishna says, I shall do it. Or just like all my disciples, they have not lost their individuality, but they have surrendered their individuality. That is required. For example, suppose a man does not indulge in sex. It does not mean he has become impotent. If he likes, he can have sex 1,000 times. But he has voluntarily avoided it. Paradivinaivartate. He has a higher taste. Sometimes we fast, but that does not mean we are diseased. We voluntarily fast. It does not mean that I am not hungry or cannot eat. But we voluntarily fast. Bob. Does the devotee who surrenders keep his individual taste for different things? RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Bob. Does he keep his individual likes and dislikes? RLA Prabhupada. Yes, he keeps everything in full. But he gives preference to Krishna. Suppose I like something but Krishna says, no, you cannot use it. Then I shall not use it. I give it up for Krishna's sake. Positively, Krishna says, I like these things. So we have to offer to Krishna what he likes, and then we take prastham. Krishna likes RDHR. Therefore all the gopas are trying to push RDHR to Krishna. Krishna likes this gop. Alright, push her forward to him. That is Krishna consciousness, to satisfy the senses of Krishna, not to satisfy my senses. That is bhakti. That is called prema, love for Krishna. Ah, Krishna likes this. I must give him this. Bob. Some prasdam I like, and some I find not at all to my liking. Rla Prabhupada. You should not do that. The perfection is that whatever is offered to Krishna you should accept. That is perfection. You cannot say, I like this, I don't like this. So long as you make such discrimination, that means you have not appreciated what prasdam is. No disliking, no liking. Whatever Krishna likes, that's alright. A devotee. But suppose someone prepares something for Krishna but does not make it so nicely. Rla Prabhupada. No, if made sincerely with devotion, then Krishna will like it. Just like Vidura. Vidura was feeding Krishna bananas, but he was so absorbed in thought that he was throwing away the real bananas and giving Krishna the skin, and Krishna was eating. All laugh. Krishna knew that he was giving him the skins in devotion, and Krishna can eat anything, provided there is devotion. It doesn't matter whether it is materially tasty or not. Similarly, a devotee also takes Krishna prasdam whether it is tasty or not. We should accept everything. A devotee. But if the devotion is not there, Rla Prabhupada. If devotion is not there, Krishna doesn't like any food, either tasty or not tasty. He does not accept it. A devotee. In India. Rla Prabhupada. Oh, India, India. Don't talk of India. Talk of philosophy. If there is no devotion, Krishna does not accept anything, whether in India or in your country. Lord Krishna is not obliged to accept anything costly because it is very tasty. Krishna has very many tasty dishes in Vaikuha. He is not hankering after your food. He accepts your devotion, bhakti. The real thing is devotion, not the food. Krishna does not accept any food of this material world. He accepts only the devotion. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it, because it has been offered to me with devotion and love. GT 9.26 It is devotion that is required. Therefore we do not allow anyone to cook who is not a devotee. Krishna does not accept anything from the hands of a non-devotee. Why should he accept? He is not hungry. He does not require any food. He accepts only the devotion, that's all. That is the main point. So one has to become a devotee, not a good cook. But if he is a devotee, then he will be a good cook also. Automatically he will become a good cook. Therefore one has to become a devotee only. Then all other good qualifications will automatically be there. And if he is a non-devotee, any good qualifications have no value. He is on the mental plane, so he has no good qualification. Bob, I still do not understand so much about prasdam. Rla Prabhupada. Prasdam is always prasdam. But because we are not elevated sufficiently, therefore we do not like some prasdam. Bob, I find that some prasdam is too spicy and hurts my stomach. Rla Prabhupada. Well, that is also due to not appreciating, but the cook should have some consideration. Krishna must be offered first-class foods. So if the cook offers something last class, he is not performing his duty. But Krishna can accept anything if it is offered by a devotee, and a devotee can accept any prasdam, even if it is spicy. Hiranyakapu gave his son poison, and after offering it to Krishna the son drank it as nectar and remained unharmed. So even if prasdam is very spicy to others, it is very palatable to the devotee. What is the question of spicy? Krishna was offered poison, real poison, by P10 RKS. But he is so nice that he thought, she came to me as my mother. So he took the poison and delivered her. Krishna does not take the bad side. A good man does not take the bad side. He takes only the good side. Just like one of my godbrothers. He wanted to make business with my Guru Maharya spiritual master. But my Guru Maharya did not take the bad side. He took the good side. He thought, he has come forward to give me some service. Bob, let us say some devotee has some medical trouble and cannot eat a certain type of food. For instance, some devotees do not eat ghee because of liver trouble. So should these devotees also take all kinds of prasdam? Rla Prabhupada. No, no. Those who are not perfect devotees may discriminate. But a perfect devotee does not discriminate. Why should you imitate a perfect devotee? So long as you have discrimination, you are not a perfect devotee. So why should you artificially imitate a perfect devotee and eat everything? The point is, a perfect devotee does not make any discrimination. Whatever is offered to Krishna is nectar. That's all. Krishna accepts anything from a devotee. Whatever is offered to me by my devotee, I accept. The same thing is true for a pure devotee. Don't you see the point? A perfect devotee does not make any discrimination. But if I am not a perfect devotee and I discriminate, why should I imitate the perfect devotee? It may not be possible for me to digest everything because I am not a perfect devotee. A devotee should not be a foolish man. It is said, Krishna Ubage Southeast Bhakachura. So a devotee knows his position and he is intelligent enough to deal with others accordingly. Library Perfect Questions, Perfect Answer 7 Acting in Knowledge of Krishna M.Y. Per, India, February 29, 1972. Evening, continued. An Indian gentleman. By what kind of actions does one earn good karma? RLA Prabhupada. Good karma means what is prescribed in the Vedas. Specifically, it is prescribed that one should perform yaga. Yaga means actions for the satisfaction of Lord Vivu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So good karma means performance of the yagas as they are prescribed in the Vedic literatures. A good, law-abiding citizen is one whose actions satisfy the government. So, good karma is actions that satisfy Lord Vivu, the Supreme Lord. Unfortunately, modern people do not know what the Supreme Personality of Godhead is, what to speak of satisfying him. They are simply busy with material activities. Therefore all of them are performing only bad karma and therefore suffering. They are blind men leading other blind men, and all are then suffering by bad karma. That is very easy to understand. If you do something criminal, you will suffer. If you do something benevolent for the state, for the people, then you are recognized. You are sometimes given a title. This is good and bad karma. So, by good karma you enjoy some material happiness, and by bad karma you suffer from material distress. By good karma you get birth in a good family. You get riches, good money. Then you become a learned scholar. You become beautiful also. Bob, what about the person who is not very aware of God, but RLA Prabhupada? Then he is an animal. A person who does not know what is God, or one who does not try to understand what is God, he is an animal. Bob, what about innocent people? RLA Prabhupada. The animal is very innocent. If you cut its throat, it won't protest. So innocence is not a very good qualification. Our proposition is that one must be very, very intelligent, and then he can understand Krishna. To become an innocent, ignorant simpleton is not a very good qualification. Simplicity is alright, but one should not be unintelligent. Bob, can you tell me what intelligence is? RLA Prabhupada. Intelligence means to know what one is, what this world is, what God is, and what their interrelations are. The animal does not know what he is. He thinks that he is the body. Similarly, anyone who does not know what he is not intelligent. Bob, what about a person who tries to do what is right and is very conscientious about the things he does? Like the servant who is very honest to his master but knows that if he were not honest he would not be caught. If a person like that stays honest anyway, is that some kind of good karma? RLA Prabhupada. Yes, to become honest is also good karma. How to become a good man is described in the Bhagavad Gita very elaborately. Dave Sampad Vimakyanai Bandwai Mat. So, if you become qualified with Dave Sampad, transcendental qualities, then Vimakya, you will be liberated. And Nibandwai if you have demoniac qualities you will be more and more entangled. Unfortunately, modern people do not know what is liberation and what is entanglement. They are so ignorant. They do not know. If I ask you what liberation is, can you answer? No answer. And if I ask you what entanglement is, can you answer? Again, no answer. These words are there in the Vedic literature, liberation and entanglement, but at the present moment people do not even know what they mean. They are so ignorant and foolish, and still they are proud of their advancement in knowledge. You are a professor, a teacher. Can you explain what liberation is? Bob, not adequately, because if I could explain it then I would become liberated very fast. RLA Prabhupada. But if you do not know what liberation is, then where is the question of fast or slow liberation? You should first know what liberation is. If you do not know where the train is going, then what is the use of knowing whether it is going fast or slow? So, what is liberation? You daily ask me. Now I am asking you. Bob laughs. Okay. Let me think for a moment. RLA Prabhupada. Liberation is described in the Armad Bhagavatam. The exact Sanskrit word for liberation is mukti. So that is defined in the Armad Bhagavatam. Muktrahit Nyathar Pasvar Pena Vyavastiti. One should stop doing all nonsense and become situated in his original position. That is liberation. Unfortunately, today nobody knows his original position or how to act properly in that position. The modern population is so ignorant about their life, it is a very awkward position. They do not know. Bob, can you tell me who is honest? RLA Prabhupada. If one does not know what is honesty, how can he be honest? But if you know what is honesty, then you can be honest. What is honesty? First of all, explain. Bob, I would say that honesty is doing what you really feel is right. RLA Prabhupada. A thief is feeling, I must steal to provide for my children. It is right. Does it mean that he is honest? The butcher thinks, I must cut the throat of the animals daily. It is my livelihood. And Radha Muni once met a hunter and asked him, why are you killing in this way? And he said, oh, it is my business. My father taught it to me. The hunter was honestly doing his work. So, a feeling of honesty depends on culture. A thief's culture is different from ours. He thinks stealing is honest. Bob. So, what is honesty? RLA Prabhupada. Yes, that is my question. Everyone laughs. Real honesty is that you should not encroach upon another's property. This is honesty. For instance, this is my table. If you want to take it away, is that honesty? Therefore, the simple definition of honesty is that you should not encroach upon another's rights. That is honesty. Bob. So somebody who is honest would be in the mode of goodness. Would that be correct? RLA Prabhupada. Certainly, certainly. Because the mode of goodness means knowledge. So if you know, this table does not belong to me. It belongs to Swamiji, you will not try to take it away. Therefore, one must know to whom things belong. Then he can be honest. Bob, you have said that the mode of goodness was knowledge of God, but somebody may be honest without having very much knowledge of God. Without thinking they are honest because it is God's wish, they just feel like they ought to be honest. RLA Prabhupada. God wishes everyone to be honest. Why should God think otherwise? Bob, can you follow God's wishes without knowing you are following God's wishes? RLA Prabhupada. No, following without knowing, that is absurd. You must know the order of God, and if you follow that, then that is honesty. Bob, so somebody cannot really be honest without knowing God. RLA Prabhupada. Yes, because God is the supreme proprietor, the supreme enjoyer, and the supreme friend. That is the statement of the Bhagavad Gita. If anyone knows these three things, then he is in full knowledge. These three things only. That God is the proprietor of everything, God is friend of everyone, and God is the enjoyer of everything. For example, everyone knows that in the body the stomach is the enjoyer, not the hands, legs, eyes, ears. These are there simply to help the stomach. For example, the eyes, the vulture goes 7 miles up to see where there is food. Then the wings fly there, and the jaws catch the food. But the ultimate enjoyer of the food is the stomach, is it not? Bob, that is so. RLA Prabhupada. Similarly, as in this body the stomach is the enjoyer, the central figure of the whole cosmic manifestation, material or spiritual, is Krishna, God. He is the enjoyer. We can understand this just by considering our own bodies. The body is also a creation. The body has the same mechanical nature you will find in the whole universe. The same mechanical arrangement will be found anywhere you go, even in animals. In the human body or in the cosmic manifestation, almost the same mechanism. So you can understand very easily that in this body, any body, your body, the stomach is the enjoyer. There is a central enjoyer, and the stomach is the friend also. Because if you cannot digest food, you see, then all other limbs of the body become weak. Therefore the stomach is the friend. It is digesting and distributing the energy to all the limbs of the body. Is it not? Bob, it is so. RLA Prabhupada. Similarly, the central stomach of the whole creation is God, or Krishna. He is the enjoyer, he is the friend, and, as the supreme proprietor, he is maintaining everyone, just as a king can maintain the whole country's citizens because he is the proprietor. Without being the proprietor, how can one become everyone's friend? So these things have to be understood. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, Krishna is the supreme proprietor, and Krishna is the supreme friend. If you know these three things, then your knowledge is full. You do not require to understand anything more. Yasmin Viti Sarvam Eva Vita Bhavati. If you simply understand Krishna by this formula, then your knowledge is complete. You don't require any more knowledge. But people will not agree. Why should Krishna be the proprietor? Hitler should be the proprietor. Nixon, that is going on. Therefore you are in trouble. But if you understand these three things only, then your knowledge is complete. But we will not accept. We will put forward so many impediments to understanding these three things, and that is the cause of our trouble. But in the Bhagavad Gita 5.29 Krishna plainly says, A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. But we won't take this. We put forward so many false proprietors, false friends, false enjoyers, and they fight one another. This is the situation of the world. If people would take this knowledge, there would immediately be peace. Dimkati. This is knowledge, and if anyone follows this principle, he is honest. He does not claim, it is mine. He knows everything is Krishna's, so therefore everything should be utilized for Krishna's service. That is honesty. If this pencil belongs to me, the etiquette is for my students to ask, can I use this pencil? Then I will reply, yes, you can. Similarly, if I know that everything belongs to Krishna, I will not use anything without his permission. That is honesty. And that is knowledge. One who does not know this is ignorant. He is foolish, and a foolish man commits crimes. All criminals are foolish men. Out of ignorance one breaks the law. So ignorance is not bliss, but it is folly to be wise where ignorance is bliss. That is the difficulty. The whole world is enjoying ignorance. And when you talk about Krishna consciousness, they do not very much appreciate it. If I say, Krishna is the proprietor, you are not the proprietor, you will not be very much satisfied. Everyone laughs. Just see, ignorance is bliss. So it is my foolishness to say the real truth. Therefore it is folly to be wise where ignorance is bliss. So we are taking the risk of offending people, and they think we are fools. If I say to a rich man, you are not the proprietor. Krishna is the proprietor. So whatever money you have, spend it for Krishna, he will be angry. Apadohyam rkhn prakapyanante. If you instruct a rascal, he'll become angry. Therefore we go as beggars. My dear sir, you are a very nice man. I am a sannyas beggar, so I want to construct a temple. Can you spare some money? So he will think, oh, here is a beggar. Give him some money. Everyone laughs. But if I say, dear sir, you have millions of dollars at your disposal. That is Krishna's money. Give it to me. I am Krishna's servant. Oh, he'll chase me away. Everyone laughs. He will not be very satisfied. Rather, if I go as a beggar, he will give me something. And if I tell him the truth, he will not give me a farthing. Everyone laughs. We convince him as beggars. We are not beggars. We are Krishna's servants. For ourselves we don't want anything from anyone, because we know Krishna will provide everything. This is knowledge. For instance, a child will sometimes take $100 bill, so we have to flatter him. Oh, you are so nice. Please take these lozenges and give me that paper. It is nothing. It is paper. And he will say, oh, yes. Take. That's nice. And he returns the $100 note for 2 penny sweets. So we have to beg people in that way. Why? Because a man will go to hell by taking Krishna's money. So some way or other, take some money from him and engage him in the Krishna consciousness movement. Bob. And then he may not go to hell. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. You save him from going to hell. Because a farthing spent for Krishna will be noted by him. Oh, this man has given a farthing. This is called Ajtasukti, devotional service performed unknowingly. People are generally very poor in their thought. Therefore the saintly persons move among them just to enlighten them a little, to give them a chance to serve Krishna. That is the saintly person's duty. But if someone takes money from others and utilizes it for his sense gratification, then he goes to hell. Then he is finished. He is a cheater, a criminal. You cannot take a farthing from anyone and use it for your own sense gratification. Bob. I think of people I know who are not Krishna conscious. RLA Prabhupada. Krishna means God. Bob. They are just slightly God conscious, but still these people are honest to the extent that they don't take from other people at all. And they try to be honest with other people. RLA Prabhupada. They do not take from other people, but they take from God. Bob. So these people are half good. RLA Prabhupada. Not good. If they do not learn this principle, that God is the proprietor, they cannot be good. Bob. I'm thinking of poor people who need money and food but do not commit crimes to get it. Everybody around them may be stealing, but they still stand up and don't steal. These people somehow deserve something good to happen to them. RLA Prabhupada. But the man who is thinking he is not stealing is also a thief because he does not know that everything belongs to Krishna. Therefore, whatever he is accepting, he is stealing. Bob. Is he less of a thief? RLA Prabhupada. You may not know that I am the proprietor of this shawl, but if you take it away, are you not stealing? Bob. But maybe if I know it is yours and I take it, I am a worse thief than if I do not know whose it is. I just think it may be nobody's and I take it. RLA Prabhupada. That is also stealing, because it must belong to somebody, and you are taking it without his permission. You may not know exactly who the proprietor is, but you know it must belong to someone. Sometimes we see on the road so many valuable things left there, government property for repairing roads or some electrical work. A man may think, oh, fortunately these things are lying here, so I may take them. Is it not stealing? Bob. It is stealing. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. He does not know that it is all government property and he takes it away. That is stealing. And when he is caught, he is arrested and he is punished. So, similarly, whatever you are collecting. Suppose you are drinking a glass of water from the river. Is the river your property? Bob. No. RLA Prabhupada. Then, it is stealing. You have not created the river. You do not know who is the proprietor, but it is not your property. So, even if you drink a glass of water without knowing to whom it belongs, you are a thief. So you may think, I am honest, but actually you are a thief. You must remember Krishna. Oh, Krishna, it is your creation, so kindly allow me to drink. This is honesty. Therefore a devotee always thinks of Krishna in all activities. Oh, it is Krishna's. This is honesty. So without Krishna consciousness, everyone is a rascal, a thief, a rogue, a robber. Therefore our conclusion is that anyone who does not understand Krishna has no good qualifications. He is not honest, nor has he knowledge. Therefore he is a third-class man. This is not dogmatism. This is a fact. So, you have understood what is knowledge and what is honesty. Bob. In a way. RLA Prabhupada. And is there another way? Bob laughs. Is there any other way? Defy it. Bob laughs again. RLA Prabhupada also laughs. Is there an alternative? We do not say anything that can be defied by anyone. That experience we have. Rather, we defy everyone. Any questions? Till now, Krishna has given us protection. In big meetings in big countries. After speaking I ask, any questions? Bob. Now I have none. RLA Prabhupada. In London, we had lectures for 12 days in Conway Hall. So after every meeting I asked, any questions? Bob. Did you get many questions? RLA Prabhupada. Oh, yes. But many were foolish questions. Bob. Let me ask one more question. What is being foolish? RLA Prabhupada. One who has no knowledge is to be considered foolish. An Indian gentleman. Prabhupada. I have one question. Can I ask? RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Indian gentleman. Some time ago in Calcutta they observed a week named Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Week. RLA Prabhupada. HMMM. This is another foolishness. They are advertising prevention of cruelty, yet they are maintaining thousands of slaughterhouses. You see, that is another foolishness. They are regularly cruel to animals, and they are making a society to prevent it. It is as if a gang of thieves calls itself Goodman and Company. Girya. Yesterday you said that the spiritual master may have to suffer due to the sinful activities of his disciples. What do you mean by sinful activities? RLA Prabhupada. At initiation you promised, I shall follow the regulative principles. If you do not follow, that is sinful. Very simple. You break the promise and do nasty things. Therefore you are sinful. Is it not? Girya. Yes. But there are some things we are instructed to do that, even though we try to do them, we cannot yet do perfectly. RLA Prabhupada. You try to do and cannot do. How is that? Girya. Like chanting attentively. Sometimes we try to, but RLA Prabhupada. Well, that is not a fault. Suppose you are trying to do something, but due to your inexperience you sometimes fail. That is not a fault. You are trying. A verse in the Bhagavatam says that if a devotee is trying his best but due to his incapability he sometimes fails, Krishna excuses him. And in the Bhagavad Gita 9.30 Krishna says, API Setsudur Siro Bhajatam Ananya Bhkstar Ava Samantavya. Someone may commit the most abominable activity, but if he is worshipping me sincerely he should be considered a saintly person. Sometimes one does something nonsensical unwillingly due to past bad habits. That does not mean he is faulty, but he must repent for what he has done, and he should try to avoid it as far as possible. But habit is second nature. Sometimes, in spite of your trying hard, MY is so strong that it trips you with pitfalls. That can be excused. Krishna excuses. But those who are doing something willingly are not excused. On the strength that I am a devotee, if I think, because I am chanting, I may therefore commit all this nonsense and it will be nullified, that is the greatest offense. Library Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers 8 Advancing in Krishna Consciousness and Exchange of Letters, Springfield, New Jersey, June 12, 1972. Dear Prabhupada, I offer my humble obeisances. I have been associating with the devotees of the New York Temple. With the association of such fine, advanced devotees, I hope that I may make some advancement in Krishna consciousness. My fiancée has started to come to the temple and is chanting a little. She knew nothing about Krishna consciousness until I wrote her about it from India. Trey has been kind enough to invite us to his home so that we may see an ideal householder life. I went to Bombay at the end of April for termination from the Peace Corps. I was fortunate enough to come down with a minor illness, so I had to stay in Bombay for 2 weeks. I spent the time with the advanced and kind devotees at Juhu. Unfortunately, you had left 5 days previously. I understand so little, but I have faith in the process of Krishna consciousness and hope to take to it more and more. I look forward to Trey's description of the temple in Los Angeles and hope that I may personally hear you in New York. Thank you for the kindness you have shown to a very undeserving boy. Sincerely, Bob Cohen A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami ISKCON Los Angeles, June 16, 1972. Bob Cohen, Springfield, New Jersey. My dear Bob, please accept my blessings. I thank you very much for your letter dated June 12, 1972. I have noted the sentiments expressed therein with great pleasure. I am very glad to hear that you are associating with us. I know that you are a very good boy, very intelligent, and your behavior is gentle, so I have all confidence that very quickly Krishna will bestow all his blessings upon you, and you will feel yourself becoming perfectly happy in Krishna consciousness. One makes his advancement in Krishna consciousness by voluntarily giving up his attachment to material nature, or MY. Such renunciation is called tapasya. But we are not very willing to perform austerities without good reason. Therefore any man with a good scientific and philosophical mind, like your good self, must first appreciate what transcendental knowledge is. If you get knowledge, automatically tapasya will follow, and then you make your advancement in spiritual life. So to get knowledge is the first item for anyone who is hoping to find the perfection of his life. Therefore I advise you to read our books daily as far as possible and try to understand the subject matter from different angles of vision by discussing it frequently with the devotees at the New York Temple. In this way you will gradually become convinced, and by your sincere attitude and devotional service you will make progress. Yes, having some faith in me and in this Krishna consciousness process is the first and only requirement for getting actual wisdom. If there is faith, understanding will follow. And as your understanding increases, so will your disgust with the spell of illusory energy. And when you voluntarily give up your entanglements in the material world, then the progress is assured. I think we are just now typing up the tapes of those conversations we held in MYPER, and we shall be publishing them as a book. It will be called Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers. I shall send you a copy as soon as they are ready to distribute. Meanwhile, I shall be stopping in New York for 2 or 3 days on my way to London for the Ratha YTR festival there. I am not yet certain when I shall be arriving in New York, but it will be sometime in the early part of July. You may keep in regular contact with Bali Mardano regarding the arrival date, and I shall be very much gladdened to meet with you in New York once again. Again we shall discuss if you have any questions. Hoping this will meet you in good health and a happy mood. Your ever well-wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Library Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers 9 Deciding for the Future. New York, July 4, 1972. Bob, I received your very kind letter about a week ago. RLA Prabhupada, you are a very intelligent boy. Try to understand this philosophy. It is very important. People are wasting so much energy for sense gratification. They are not aware of what is going to happen in the next life. There is a next life, but foolish people are ignorant. This life is a preparation for the next life. That they do not know. The modern education and its universities are completely in darkness about this simple knowledge. We are changing bodies every moment. That is a medical fact. After leaving this body, we will have to accept another body. How are we going to accept that body? What kind of body? This can also be known. For example, if someone is being educated, one can understand that when he passes his examination he is going to be an engineer or medical practitioner. Similarly, in this life, you can prepare yourself to become something in the next life. Barbara, Bob's wife. Can we decide what we want to be in the next life? RLA Prabhupada. Yes, you can decide. We have decided that in the next life we are going to Krishna. This is our decision, to go back home, back to Godhead. Suppose you decide that you are going to be an engineer or a medical practitioner. With that objective you prepare and educate yourself. Similarly, you can decide what you are going to do in the next life. But if you don't decide, then the material nature will decide. Barbara, could I have been Krishna conscious in my last life? Is it possible that in my last life I was a Krishna devotee and have come back again? RLA Prabhupada. It doesn't matter. But you can become a Krishna devotee now. Take advantage of our Krishna consciousness movement. When one is perfectly Krishna conscious, he does not come back. But if there is a little deficiency, then there is a possibility of coming back. But even though there is a deficiency, he comes back to a nice family. Akanar Matgi Yoga Brobiate. The unsuccessful yob takes birth in a religious or aristocratic family. So human intelligence can decide for the future. An animal cannot. We have discriminatory power. If I do this, I will be benefited. If I do that, I will not be benefited. This power is there in human life. So you have to use it properly. You should know what is the goal of life and decide in that way. That is human civilization. Barbara, have you ever seen Krishna? RLA Prabhupada. Yes. Barbara, you have. RLA Prabhupada. Daily. At every moment. Barbara, but not in the material body. RLA Prabhupada. He has no material body. Barbara, well, in the temple here they have pictures of Krishna. RLA Prabhupada. That is not a material body. You are seeing materially because you have material eyes. Because you have material eyes, you cannot see the spiritual form. Therefore Krishna kindly appears to be in a material body so that you can see him. But because he has kindly made himself just fit for your seeing, that does not mean he has a material body. Suppose the President of the United States kindly comes to your house. That does not mean his position and your position are the same. It is his kindness. Out of love, he may come to your house, but that does not mean he is on the same level as you. Similarly, because we cannot see Krishna with our present eyes, he therefore appears before us as a painting or as a form made of stone or wood. And Krishna is not different from these paintings and wood because everything is Krishna. Barbara, after we die, what happens to our spirit? RLA Prabhupada. You get another body. Barbara, immediately. RLA Prabhupada. Yes. It is just like when you change your apartment. You fix up your new apartment first. Then you leave this one and go there. Barbara, so do we know what type of body we will get? RLA Prabhupada. Yes, provided you are qualified. Those who are qualified know. But for those who do not know, nature will arrange things. If you do not know, this means you have not prepared your life. So at the time of death your mentality will create another body and nature will supply it. Bob, if Krishna controls everything, how does Krishna control a non-devotee? RLA Prabhupada. By MY. Krishna controls this world just as the government controls everything. A kingdom is controlled by the king's departments. Bob, and how does Krishna control a devotee? RLA Prabhupada. Just as you control your beloved. For example, if you have a beloved child, you control him for his benefit. If he is going to touch fire, you will immediately tell him, no, my dear child, don't touch it. So a Krishna conscious person, a devotee, is never misled, because Krishna is always guiding him, whereas those who are not Krishna conscious are in the charge of MY, and MY will do the needful, as you have seen. Bob, is the time that we'll die preset when we are born? When I'm born, do I have a certain given lifespan? RLA Prabhupada. Yes, a devotee, and he cannot change that. RLA Prabhupada. No, he cannot change it, but Krishna can change it. Devotee, if he commits suicide, is that also preset? RLA Prabhupada. Not preset. That you can do because you have a little independence. It is not natural to commit suicide. But because we have independence, we can go from nature to UN nature. A prisoner cannot go out of the prison house naturally. But if somehow or other he arranges to jump over the wall and escapes, then he becomes eligible for further imprisonment. He will be arrested again, and his term of imprisonment will be increased. So, naturally we cannot violate destiny. But if we do it, then we will suffer. But our destiny can be changed by Krishna when we are Krishna conscious. We do not do it, but Krishna will do it. Krishna says, Ahati vi sarvapi pebyo makai waimi. I shall give you protection. That change takes place for my protection. There are two categories, non-devotee and devotee. The non-devotee is under the control of material nature, and the devotee is under the direct control of Krishna. There are many employees in a big company, and they are controlled by the head of the company through different departmental superintendents. But although outside of home he controls his employees indirectly, the same man at home is controlling his children directly. But he is always a controller. Similarly, God is always the controller. When one becomes a devotee, he is controlled by God. When he is a non-devotee, he is controlled by God's agent, MY. But one has to be controlled. For example, every citizen of America is controlled by the government. When a citizen is alright, the civil department controls him. When he is not alright, the criminal department controls him. But he cannot say, I am not controlled. That is not possible. Everyone is controlled. If somebody says I am not controlled, he is crazy. Everyone is controlled. So either you will be controlled directly by God, or you will be controlled by his agent, MY. If you choose to be controlled by MY, you spoil your life. You remain in material existence birth after birth, changing your bodies. But if you choose to be controlled by God, then after this body you go back home, back to Godhead. Then your life is successful. You cannot exist without being controlled. That is not possible. Intelligence means to choose to be controlled by Krishna. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhavan janmanam anti-jainavanam prapadyate. After many births of speculating, one surrenders unto me. Visudeva sarvam iti. One thinks, Krishna, you are everything. So I have come before you. Please accept me. I am now fully surrendered unto you, so please control me. For so long I have been controlled by these rascal senses, without any benefit. Under the control of the senses I have served so-called family, society, country, nation, up to serving the dogs. But nothing has given me satisfaction. But now I have had the good sense to put myself under your control. Instead of being controlled by dog, let me be controlled by God. This is Krishna consciousness. Have you not seen how a man is controlled by a dog? In the street the dog stops to pass stool, and his master will stand and wait. Is it not? The dog is passing stool and urine, and the man is thinking, I am the master. But he is being controlled by the dog. That is MY. What do you think? Has he not become controlled by the dog? Bob. That is so. RLA Prabhupada. But he is thinking, I am the master of the dog. A family man is controlled by his wife, his children, his servants, everyone, but he is thinking, I am master. President Nixon is thinking that he is master of his country, but he is controlled. At once he can be dismissed by the public, his servants. At election time he will take a position, claiming, I will give you very good service and I shall be a first-class servant. Therefore people vote, all right, you become president. And he is advertising, re-elect me, re-elect me. That means he is a servant. But he is thinking, I am the master. That is illusion, MY. One who is controlled by MY thinks himself the master while he is a servant. But a devotee never thinks, I am the master, only I am Krishna's servant. That is mukti, liberation. A devotee is never controlled by false thoughts. He knows his position, svarpena vyavastiti. Mukti, liberation, means to be situated in one's own constitutional position as a servant of Krishna. So if I know that I am a servant of Krishna, that is my liberation. And if I think that I am the master, that is bondage. This is the difference between liberated life and conditioned life. So these Krishna-conscious devotees are always thinking that they are servants of Krishna. Therefore they are all liberated. They do not endeavor for liberation. They are already liberated because they are situated in their constitutional position. Bob. Prabhupada. Some religious people claim that Jesus is guiding them. Can this be so? RLA Prabhupada. Yes, but they are not taking the guidance. Jesus is guiding the Christians, telling them, thou shalt not kill, but they are killing. So how are they following Jesus' guidance? Simply saying I am guided by Jesus Christ, but I don't care for his words. Will that do? Is that guidance? Nobody is being guided by Jesus Christ. Their claim is false. It is very hard to find a man who is actually being guided by Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ's guidance is available, but nobody is caring for him. They have taken Jesus Christ as contractor to take up their sins. That is their philosophy. They commit all kinds of sins and poor Jesus Christ will be responsible. That is their religion. Therefore they say, we have a very good religion. For all our sinful activities, Jesus Christ will die. Is that good religion? They have no sympathy for Jesus Christ. If they did, they would think, he died for our sins. Why should we commit sins again? Such a great life has been sacrificed for our sins, so we should be guided by Jesus Christ. But they take it otherwise. I shall go on committing all sins, and Jesus Christ has made a contract to nullify all my sins. I'll simply go to the church and confess and come back and again do all nonsense. Do you think that shows very good intelligence? Bob, no. RLA Prabhupada. One who is actually guided by Jesus Christ will certainly get liberation. But it is very hard to find a man who is actually being guided by Jesus Christ. Bob, what about the Jesus freaks young people who read the Bible very often? RLA Prabhupada. But violence is against the Bible's injunctions. How can they kill if they are following the Bible? Bob, they claim that the Bible says Jesus ate meat. RLA Prabhupada. That's alright. He may eat anything. He is powerful. But he has ordered, thou shalt not kill. You must stop killing. He is powerful. He can eat the whole world. But you cannot compare yourself to Jesus Christ. You cannot imitate him. You have to abide by his order. Then you are guided by Jesus Christ. That is actual obedience. The Bhagavatam explains that one who is in Vara, who is empowered, can do anything, but that we cannot imitate. We have to abide by his order. Admitting that Jesus ate meat, you do not know under what conditions he ate meat. He advised others not to kill, yet he himself ate meat. Do you think Jesus Christ was contradicting himself? Bob, no. RLA Prabhupada. He cannot do that. That is real faith in him, to understand that he cannot do that. So why did he eat meat? He has his reasons why, but he has asked me not to kill. Therefore I have to follow. That is the real system. You are not Jesus Christ. You cannot imitate him. He has sacrificed his life for God. Can you do that? Why imitate Jesus Christ only by eating meat? Why not imitate Jesus Christ by sacrificing your life for spreading God consciousness? They are so-called Christians, but what are they doing for God? Consider how the sun is absorbing urine. Can you drink urine? If you want to imitate the sun and drink urine, can you? Similarly, Jesus Christ is so powerful he can do anything. But we cannot imitate. We have to simply abide by his order. That is real Christianity. It is wrong to imitate a powerful man. Our Vedic literature describes that once there was an ocean of poison and no one knew what to do with it. Then Lord Eva said, alright, I'll drink it. So he drank the whole poison ocean and kept it in his throat. Now, can you drink poison? Not the whole ocean, just one cup. Lord Eva never advised that we drink poison. So you have to abide by his advice, not try to imitate him. These LSD and marijuana people say that Lord Eva used to smoke ganja hashish. But Lord Eva drank a whole ocean of poison. Can you do that? It is Lord Eva's instructions that should be followed, not his example of smoking ganja. When P. Ravat asked him what method of worship is best, he said, Ardana Param. The best worship is worship of Lord Vivu, Krishna. There are many demigods, but he recommended Vivu worship as the best. And better than Vivu worship, he said, is worship of Avayava. The exact word he used is Tadynam, those who are related to Vivu. For instance, we worship the tulas plant. We do not worship all plants, but because tulas has a very intimate connection with Krishna or Vivu, we worship her. Similarly, if anything is intimately related with Krishna, worship of that thing is better than worship of Vivu. Bob, why is that? RLA Prabhupada. Because Krishna will be pleased. Suppose you have a dog and some friend comes and pats your dog and says, my, what a nice dog you have. RLA Prabhupada makes big patting motions amidst general laughter. You become pleased and think, oh, he is my good friend. You see, some Indian guests enter the room. Please have some prastham. RLA Prabhupada continues speaking with his guests, sometimes in English and sometimes in Hindi. It is his last day in New York, and his plane to London is scheduled to leave in only a few hours. Bob has brought a car to drive RLA Prabhupada to Kennedy Airport. The devotees are scurrying about, bringing luggage to the car, putting the manuscripts of RLA Prabhupada's latest translating work in order, and making other last-minute arrangements. Why Masundara? Everything's ready, RLA Prabhupada. The car is waiting for us, RLA Prabhupada. So, we can go now. Alright, Hare Krishna. Library Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers Concluding Words on July 19, 1976. His Divine Grace RLA Prabhupada accepted my wife and me as his disciples and initiated us with the names Bhakti Devdas and Brahmatratha Desa. As I reflect back on that day, I can see how fortunate I was to have met His Divine Grace and my godbrothers in the Hare Krishna movement. When I was handed my beads at initiation, I promised to follow the regulative principles and to chant God's names daily. 4 years previously, RLA Prabhupada had advised me to follow these principles. He said that within 6 months I could be like the other devotees. All unnecessary things and arthas, such as mundane movies and restaurants, would cease to attract me. The whole human life is meant for purification, he said. I was interested in being purified, even though I did not really know what purification meant. I had gone to India with the Peace Corps hoping to find a higher level of consciousness. I could not believe that satisfying the senses was the all-in-all, yet I myself was bound by the senses. Later I could understand that yoga means becoming free from the dictation of the senses. Upon returning to America, I started graduate school in geology, got married, and became somewhat entangled in domestic responsibilities. But I would very often think of my conversations with RLA Prabhupada and of his instructions. One of his primary instructions was simply to associate with the devotees, and this I gladly did. Devotees are different. By understanding that loving service to the Supreme Lord is the goal of life, they avoid getting caught up in the petty affairs of sense gratification and false ego. Visiting the temple was most refreshing. Gradually, my wife and I became friends with many devotees and wanted somehow to do some service for the movement. I sponsored a Bhakti Yoga club at the university, and our apartment served as a way station for traveling parties of devotees. As we followed RLA Prabhupada's instructions, even our eating became purified. In India I had told RLA Prabhupada that I could not offer my food as the devotees do because I did not understand that Krishna is God. So he told me simply to thank God for my food before eating. This we did, and finally our devotion matured, and we started actually offering our food to the Supreme Lord. What a wonderful feeling, to be cooking for the Supreme Lord. This actually freed us from the control of the tongue. Finally, we were ready to become involved fully in temple life. By Krishna's grace, I obtained a job near a temple in Texas and began to take part in all the temple programs. In this way, all the anarthas disappeared, just as RLA Prabhupada had predicted. It was like having a burden lifted from our shoulders. We were no longer servants of our senses, but servants of God and His devotees. The value of RLA Prabhupada's instructions had become clear. A human being is not meant to labor like an ass and enjoy like a dog. Purification means coming to a higher level of consciousness. Even though I have been initiated, I still admire my godbrother's spiritual awareness and wish to advance. Actually, initiation is the beginning. Brahmatratha Desa, Bob Cohen, Houston, Texas, October 16, 1976. Library Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers. The author His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada appeared in this world in 1896 in Calcutta, India. He first met his spiritual master, RLA Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvat Goswami, in Calcutta in 1922. Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvat, a prominent religious scholar and the founder of 64 Gauyamas Vedic institutes, liked this educated young man and convinced him to dedicate his life to teaching Vedic knowledge. RLA Prabhupada became his student and, in 1933, his formally initiated disciple. At their first meeting, in 1922, RLA Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvat requested RLA Prabhupada to broadcast Vedic knowledge in English. In the years that followed, RLA Prabhupada wrote a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, assisted the Gauyamas in its work and, in 1944, started Back to Godhead, an English fortnightly magazine. Single-handedly, RLA Prabhupada edited it, typed the manuscripts, checked the galley proofs, and even distributed the individual copies. The magazine is now being continued by his disciples. In 1950, RLA Prabhupada retired from married life, adopting the Vanaprastha, retired, order to devote more time to his studies and writing. He traveled to the holy city of Vrindavan, where he lived in humble circumstances in the historic temple of Rdhd Modara. There he engaged for several years in deep study and writing. He accepted the renounced Order of Life Sanisa in 1959. At RDHD Modara, RLA Prabhupada began work on his life's masterpiece, a multi-volume commentated translation of the 18,000-verse Armad Bhagavatam per A. He also wrote Easy Journey to Other Planets. After publishing 3 volumes of the Bhagavatam, RLA Prabhupada came to the United States in September 1965 to fulfill the mission of his spiritual master. Subsequently, His Divine Grace wrote more than 50 volumes of authoritative commentated translations and summary studies of the philosophical and religious classics of India. When he first arrived by freighter in New York City, RLA Prabhupada was practically penniless. Only after almost a year of great difficulty did he establish the International Society for Krishna Consciousness in July of 1966. Before he passed away on November 14, 1977, he had guided the society and seen it grow to a worldwide confederation of more than 100 ramas, schools, temples, institutes, and farm communities. In 1972, His Divine Grace introduced the Vedic system of primary and secondary education in the West by founding the Gurukula School in Dallas, Texas. Since then, his disciples have established similar schools throughout the United States and the rest of the world. RLA Prabhupada also inspired the construction of several large international cultural centers in India. At RDH Mahamwipur in West Bengal, devotees are building a spiritual city centered on a magnificent temple, an ambitious project for which construction will extend over many years to come. In Vindhyavana are the Krishna Balaram Temple and International Guest House, Gurukula School, and RLA Prabhupada Memorial and Museum. There are also major temples and cultural centers in Mumbai, New Delhi, Ahmedabad, Siliguri, and Ujjain. Other centers are planned in many important locations on the Indian subcontinent. RLA Prabhupada's most significant contribution, however, is his books. Highly respected by scholars for their authority, depth, and clarity, they are used as textbooks in numerous college courses. His writings have been translated into over 50 languages. The Bhaktivedanta Book Trust, established in 1972 to publish the works of His Divine Grace, has thus become the world's largest publisher of books in the field of Indian religion and philosophy. In just 12 years, despite his advanced age, RLA Prabhupada circled the globe 14 times on lecture tours that took him to 6 continents. In spite of such a vigorous schedule, RLA Prabhupada continued to write prolifically. His writings constitute a veritable library of Vedic philosophy, religion, literature, and culture.